I like, so you guys, like, this is another instance where my notes for the dub are significantly longer than my notes for the subbed version during the
All
very
right.
special theatrical OVA, and I think maybe 50% of them are in caps. Oh my, there's so many. What? There's more than I thought there were. There's so many. What the fuck? I was so mad. Like, it's only 15 minutes long in English. How the fuck did this happen? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DigiVerse DiveCast, episode 4, the only Digimon podcast hosted by me specifically.
That's not true.
What? What do you mean that's not true?
That's not true.
They don't.
We know you got
they
a
don't
secret
know.
one.
Yeah.
They don't know.
They don't know.
What do you mean?
They
How
don't
do
know chat.
It's better if you don't know then.
Okay. Sure. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind, I guess, for next time. Anyway, so I guess we'll start off with the usual. How is I'll talk about my week first, just because
Okay.
I'm already talking.
Yeah.
I've basically been doing nothing these past 2 weeks except playing Trails, because I've decided that I'm going to be catching up with the Trails series. So I beat Cold Steel 4, fucking amazing game, and then I'm like 70% of the way or so into Trails into Red. Well, I shouldn't say that because apparently the post game is long and it's like the actual game.
There's a
so
post game.
Oh yeah, and it's really important. Apparently, it leads into Kuro, so
Yeah.
you like need to do it.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've been playing that. And I'm a good way into that. I was playing like literally up until like 15 minutes before we started recording. But that's pretty much the only thing I've really been doing for the past 2 weeks, unless I'm forgetting something that might have happened, which I don't think I
The
am.
world ended. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah. We did a couple remote duels in the Cool Gang server. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Got those
We
set
also
up. too.
tested out the new web sim.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it like usable?
It's a dueling book. So
Okay. Well, sure.
you could be worse.
Yes, could be much worse. It could be
It could
tabletop
be
sim.
tabletop simulator.
It's like I'm 50-50 on whether I like tabletop sim better than it, because on one hand, I'm just so used to tabletop sim that I'm like, yeah, I like this better.
Mhm.
I'm just used to it. But I think for accessibility's sake, the dueling book sim is pretty good, and you can run that shit on literally anything because it's web based.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an option now, and I managed to get a friend who has a fucking Mac, so he cannot run tabletop sim
Oh,
to try the Digimon trading card game.
Yeah, that would do
Yeah.
it. Man,
Yeah.
if only like there was like a huge company that owned the game that could like
Mhm.
make
and
a
that
simulator.
makes games. That makes
Imagine.
games even.
It would be a
That
shame
has
if
a-
that company was massively incompetent.
Yeah.
So very incompetent.
Bandai, please sponsor us. Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. If this picks up enough steam, I'm probably gonna start reaching out to Bandai for product. I'm not gonna lie. Don't tell him I said that though. We love you, Bandai. You're great. Be better. Fix your fucking app.
Please.
And
It's
your
not-
company.
It's not even just us that want the app fixed. It's all of your fucking games that want the app fixed.
Literally.
Anyway, what anyone else want to talk about their particular weeks?
Let me go because mine's pretty short. Well,
Okay.
first week was kind of eventful. I'm still just learning stuff at my job, but that was also I did one of the store regionals or the store championships. They
Nice.
did the 2 waves in like September.
Mhm.
So I only made I was working the first one, so I was only able to go for the second one. However, I was actually working that day, so I had to go there right after work. But it started at the same time I finished work. So they were like, okay, if you pay beforehand, you can show up, but you'll just have to skip the first round.
So you get the automatic loss.
But I show up and I was like, oh, I was ready to just throw. But the guy goes, hey, I shuffled the names already, but I got you the buy.
Oh,
I was like, oh, lucky
Nice.
me. And then I went on to get my ass beat first game, and then I just and then the second game I actually won. So and because somehow through a bye, a loss, and a win, I came top 3.
That's right. You were posting how you got the top 4 packs despite not being there for round 1. Incredible.
Like, I'll take it. I'll take it. But
We take
It
those.
certainly doesn't seem fair, but yeah.
and this week, well, I was hoping to get a bunch of stuff done, but I had work for most of that week, and then when that was done, like the day after, I got sick, like really bad stomach cramps, and that just had me just rolling around in bed for like 2 days, and I'm only now just feeling better.
Oh.
Unfortunate.
We did have to delay the recording session to today, which is the 10th, so 2 days
Yeah.
before the episode comes out, because of a horrible case of stummy hurt.
Yeah.
But he's
No,
better.
you need to understand, the stomach really hurt.
It
The
was really
stummy.
bad. Yeah. You were being so brave about it, though, because you're here
You were-
today
you
recording.
were-
Mhm.
I'm a little tough boy.
I guess I can go. I've also been moving out of my apartment. I'm moving back in with my parents. Don't worry about that one.
Okay.
But also just a short, I would say funny story. I was emptying the dishwasher, and I do it in a specific order because I have the capital A autism. My dad was watching me do this, and he goes unprompted. He goes, you have a mental illness, right? And I was like, what? Hold on, wait, no. Hold on. It wasn't that. What exactly? I said this to my friend. What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Where is it? God damn it. Oh, he said, you're mentally ill, right?
Jesus Christ.
Look, I was like, yeah?
Damn, for real?
It was just understandably a little, those were not at all the words that I expected to come out of his mouth.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be something like, you know, you don't have to do everything in the same order every time, right? No, he just full out was like, you're mentally ill, right? I was like, yeah, but okay. You didn't have to say it.
I mean, sometimes it's easier to just cut straight to the point.
Apparently.
And then, Angel, did you have anything else to talk about?
I'll be frank, I do not remember a single thing that has happened for the past 2 weeks.
Well, you know
Straight
what?
up.
Mind wiped.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Mhm. No
Right.
exaggeration.
Well, in that case, let's just go ahead and get straight into the episodes. Oh, we're going to be starting with episode 16. We're going to do the special at the end.
Yeah.
So the first episode is episode 16, Dark Evolution, SkullGreymon.
This
Now-
episode's good as hell, bro.
Because we are on the SkullGreymon episode, I feel like it would only be pertinent to revisit a certain discussion we had a month ago.
Uh-huh.
Leon,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
defend yourself.
I don't need to defend myself. My defense is I could fix him.
I said, you can't just say that. You saw
mean,
what
I-
happened.
If
I
you
can just say that.
If you fixed him, he wouldn't be SkullGreymon. He would be Metal Greymon.
Yeah, that's actually kind of the entire point of this
Okay.
set of episodes.
But consider this. It wasn't SkullGreymon or fucking yeah. Well, it wasn't the Digimon's fault that it was evil. Or
And
That's
on
the
a
point.
rampage.
You only get SkullGreymon
Or-
if you raise him badly.
I could fix him. I think that's
So
all
you're
that
going
needs
to
be
raise
said.
him badly, so you can then start raising him well. Is that
No.
what you're telling me?
No. that would
Well, then
just
you
be...
won't have a SkullGreymon.
That's how he's gonna get Virus Wargreymon.
Yeah, but if I had a Digimon that was already a SkullGreymon by the time I started raising him, I could fix him.
You're going to find a wild SkullGreymon
Yeah,
and attempt to tame it.
yeah.
I don't think Digimon works that way.
Normally, no. I guess it technically does in, like, the story games, but
And then
You forget that was like my
yeah.
only like into the series before I started watching Adventure. I could fix him.
It's how it works in the Digimon DS World Championship or whatever. That's the one game I played as a kid.
The Bible. Fucking Bible
Yeah.
of the series right there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, generally the idea is that you're destined partners. That's like kind of
Yeah,
the
well,
vibe
maybe-
the
what if-
show goes with.
What if my destined partner was SkullGreymon?
I mean,
Yggdrasil takes one look at you and goes, wow, this kid's fucked up. Give him the SkullGreymon. we need to
I don't know what you're
offload these
talking
fucking
about,
things.
But yeah, go off, I guess.
we got too many in the warehouse. We gotta give them out.
All these damn kids who keep getting the Agumon and they turn into SkullGreymon and then return them because they don't know how to raise their fucking pets right.
I'll take all their SkullGreymons if
He's not
the
just for
fucking tree won.
Christmas.
Don't
Yeah,
get a
cool.
pandemic Agumon.
Put like a little, put like some like little put like some like bells and ornaments on your
Yeah, like
SkullGreymon.
cute little bows.
Like he's got all those like he's
frills.
got all like those like pointy skull parts. You can hang stuff off them.
Remember, parents, a Digimon is a destined partner for life, not something to give your kids as a 10th birthday present to teach them responsibility, okay? You're gonna wind up raising it yourself and you're too old. It's literally how it works. They're gonna have to get sent back to the pound, and then God knows what happens there.
I mean, heaven forbid
Omelet.
an egg gets dropped before the Digimon even hatches.
No, they're pretty resilient, as we saw in this special.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's getting
begin.
into the episode proper. So we start off and the kids are walking through this fucking desert again. they're stuck in this desert. Mimi is being very valid, complaining about the heat because, of course she is.
They're like,
Mhm.
oh, we're dying.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there's
Reasonable.
so my notes are admittedly a little vague, so fill me in if I get something wrong. But
Yeah.
they're just like, well, where do we even go right now? And someone basically says something that amounts to, as long as I'm not near Edamon, I'm fine.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Just like anywhere
Yeah.
but the monkey.
Reasonable.
The episode basically opens with Taichi putting a whole lot of undue expectations on Agumon, like a lot.
Yeah, because he's like, well, but Agumon, I'm the only one with a crest right now, so like, it's up to you and me. We're the only one who
Mhm.
can beat Edamon, so you gotta fucking.
Eat up,
You gotta fuck.
motherfucker.
You gotta be a
Yeah.
team player.
They're just like, well, the
And Agumon's
conditions
just
to
like,
Digivolve.
all right.
Koshiro's like, well, the conditions to Digivolve are 1, they can't be hungry, and 2, we need to be in danger. So, assumedly, higher level means they need more food, right? So Taichi begins to force feed Agumon everyone else's food, which he
Mhm.
claims that everyone agreed.
It's like everyone is contributing this for you, and then I think it's Sora just goes, we didn't agree to this.
No, it's everyone else is like, yeah, right, and then Mimi's like, no, we fucking didn't. You stole it.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is animal abuse.
Oh yes, for certain.
I mean, like overfeeding a cat is considered animal abuse. so
100%.
Yeah.
And Agumon is very clearly like, no, like, bro, come on. Come
I
on,
can't
dude.
eat anymore. Help.
Like
And
they
then-
draw him extra tubby for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. Sora and Koshiro begin having a discussion that Taichi's not normally like this. Because they are specifically the two that know Taichi personally from
Yeah,
before everything happened. Because I think they were technically all in soccer club together. Koshiro seems to imply he was also in there, but maybe not. Because he mentions that Taichi was always really
Or
nice
at
to
He's
the
least,
probably
younger.
like
or
the
at least
team
he, or at least he
manager.
was like a
He's kind of a
neighbor or
nerd.
something.
Yeah.
Let's be
Or
real.
at least that like he lived near them or just knew them.
Mhm.
He
beforehand.
might, if he was on the team, he would have been like a team manager, probably.
Yeah. He just
Like
mentions
not
like,
actually playing, but
he mentions, oh yeah, Taichi was always super nice to the underclassmen and was like always really great in helping them along. And Sora's like, yeah, no, he always like, he may seem like a reckless loner idiot, but he usually is a pretty good team player.
he may seem
And
like a
she-
stupid sack of shit.
And but I think it's funny because she brings up this example of like him going for like a play, and it looks like he's just ignoring her and going for a shot,
hmm
but then it like he trips a guy up, and then like the ball goes over on her, and he's like, "Oh, that was a nice pass, Taichi," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that was a pass."
Yeah, they really
it
make
really
it seem.
did not look like a pass.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sora's just like, he's not really a reckless loner idiot. The crest has made him a reckless loner idiot. And then,
He becomes like really single-minded and just like, oh fucking, I'm the only one who can step up right now, so I gotta fucking deliver.
And then all of a
Which
sudden,
is like not necessarily unrealistic for a child, but also it does make me very annoyed.
Yes, it's just he's super fucking annoying this episode, and I think that's the point.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Joe's tag starts reacting because apparently the tags react when their crest is nearby. Taichi's didn't, but Joe's is.
I mean, they also like it felt like that. Maybe it was they were all busy running away from Adamon doing Adamon things, and then they're in like the Koromon cave or whatever.
Yeah, they were just distracted.
Joe's like, "Oh hey, I guess my crest is nearby. My tag is reacting." So they all start heading. I guess the tag they seemingly imply this a couple times. Like tag sort of pulls in the direction, or like it glows brighter when it's pointed in the correct direction. So they start like following it, quote unquote. Taichi busts out his little spyglass, and they see like the Colosseum, like a ruined Colosseum in the distance.
And I'm like, well, let's go over there. And as they're going over there, there's like a single Gazimon just chilling.
He's just in his lounge chair with the umbrella and drink. He's just.
And he's like, oh god, fuck! I gotta tell Adamon.
So yeah, Adamon finds out that they are in the ruined Colosseum, which he's just like, oh man, I have something waiting for him there. Yay. They get to the Colosseum.
Wait, real quick. In my notes, I just Adamon laugh because I remember Adamon making a really funny laugh during that bit.
I don't remember the specifics, mostly because the English one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does one of those kinds of laughs. The English one is over in my brain because he laughs like the Elvis Presley
fucking
thing.
Elvis, yeah.
It's really good.
So they get to the Colosseum, and it's a normal Colosseum except for the part where there's a jumbotron and soccer goals there.
Yeah. And they're playing that fucking baseball jingle constantly.
Yeah, da 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 da. Just have that shit going all the time.
Man, Adamon's like my favorite part of this show so far.
Yes,
I
love
so
Adamon. He's
funny.
so fun. But yeah, so they decide to like split up and find, or Taichi's like, everyone split up and find the crest. At which point Agumon's like about to fucking vomit.
And then Joe's just like that's kind of pointless.
Yeah,
because it's not the crest is the only thing that tells us where it is. So you guys just chill for a bit.
So everyone decides to start playing soccer, which is great because all the humans are. And Yamato's like, all right, humans versus Digimon.
Yeah,
immediately. Like, this isn't fair. They don't know how the game works.
And then they explain it. They're like, okay, you can use your hand or your head, your chest, or your feet. Kick the ball. You can't use your hands. To which point, Palmon's like, that's kind of unfair to me.
And then, but then to be fair, then Yamato goes, at least you should be the goalkeeper. You'd be a really fucking good goalkeeper.
Fucking extendo hand.
And then so they all start playing. They're kicking the ball around, and then Taichi fucking runs up and hits this shit so hard it flies out of the Coliseum and nails a random Gazimon in the face, destroying his sunglasses. Because Taichi's like,
Gazimon. There's a lot of there's a running theme of Gazimon eating shit this batch of episodes.
I mean, that makes sense. They're the mooks. They're the goons.
They're the
goons.
They're goons.
Hey, boss. And they get smacked. Taichi's immediately like, no fun allowed.
Just like, guys, we're in a bad spot right now. What the fuck are you doing? And just like, I don't know, trying to relax a bit.
How dare you have fun? We should be on edge, max tension at all fucking points. At which point Adamon shows up on the Jumbotron and is like, hey kids, get fucked, and then traps them in a net.
And everybody else is going, damn, why is Taichi being such a dick today?
Just puberty.
Yeah.
So I believe Joe is also at that point. Joe has returned because he like couldn't find the crest, and so they everyone except Agumon, who is outside the net because he's too
he's too chunky,
too chungly to move. And Tentomon's like, a net's not gonna do anything, and then he immediately gets shocked.
so there's like I almost feel like there was like a running bit of Tentamon, like, because I swear this happened in an earlier episode where he went, "Ha, won't affect me," and then he gets zapped anyway.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And at this point, Edamon reveals his master scheme. He has a fucked up and evil Greymon.
No, not that one. Different from the other one.
Yeah. His is just a Greymon that is already fucked up and evil because he's got one of the dark network cables wrapped around his neck. Mm-hmm. So Taichi's like, "Oh shit, Agumon, you gotta Digivolve because we have to do the mirror match. I hope you practiced." So Agumon Digivolves, and the Braveheart starts playing, and they start fighting, and then the other Greymon slams God, this is so hard to keep track of. Bad
And
Greymon
then-
slams good Greymon into
Yeah.
the net. It does a hard cut on Braveheart, which is great.
It's really good
They,
every
they
single
use
time.
they use the song really good this episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Greymon is just getting good. Greymon is just getting fucking stomped. Like he can't do
Mhm.
anything.
Wow,
and-
he's
Yeah,
so
he-
slow and sluggish.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, why is he so slow?" It's like, "Oh, he's probably still full."
He's
And then
too
he tries
full.
to do like a mega flame, and he can't even do that because he just burps.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
burps. And then I have a note written, and I think this is correct because so the evil Greymon does a thing to normal good Greymon, and I was like, I looked at it happening, I was like, isn't that a really popular wrestling move? So I went and Googled.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did a wrestling move.
Fucking
Yeah, I
so long
think he
game
did
on.
like a fucking DDT.
Okay, because like I looked it up and I saw it was called the RKO when you specifically grab them by the wrapped around the back of the neck like that, jump forward.
And then do
The-
like a spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently
Or a
RKO out of
or like a
nowhere was like a
cutter,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote RKO out of nowhere. Because Greymon, like good Greymon, is just getting like choke slammed and
Yeah, he
spun.
gets, like he gets thrown right into like their cage.
Yeah.
At which
I
point,
fu-
like
I fucking-
I would-
I wrote so long game on here.
so long. So but that like at that point that makes Joe realize, wait a minute, my
Mhm.
my crest is going crazy right now. So they
Mhm.
start digging to try and
Yeah.
escape.
It's like they don't even start digging, they just start lifting up the tiles of the fucking Colosseum. They just like it was like, okay, we can just flip these over, I guess. And then on the bottom of one of them is the crest.
Edamon
Mhm.
did a very poor job maintaining this place.
It's very true. So yeah, Joe gets his crest. And so before this, Goemon does a thing where like he said he starts doing marching fishes.
Oh
And
yeah, there's like
the-
the
and then they say-
creature.
It's from a rift to another dimension.
The
And it's like,
the
what does that
horrid
mean?
the horrible
know.
statues that are terrible, awful, ugly faces start puking water, and then
Yeah.
a bunch of flying fish come out of it, steal the Gazimon's fireworks that he was going to use to celebrate Bad Greymon's victory, and I think distract Bad Greymon for a second. It was a bizarre
Yeah,
sequence of
because
events.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, so where did the fish come from? And then Goemon's like, don't ask me questions like that.
And Koshiro goes and says his theory is it comes from a rift to another dimension or something.
Yeah, it was just a very weird sequence of events.
Yeah. Not sure what was
It
going
was-
on there, but it was funny.
it was pretty funny though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So at this point, they manage to find it. There's like once they dig, they find a tunnel that leads out of the net, so they're all free from the net. And Taichi begins to be a reckless loner idiot because he's like, if the two conditions are not hungry and tamer in danger, I guess I'll just go run up to the evil Greymon and throw a
Yep.
rock in its face.
By the way, this is like the 6th time that Marking Fishes has saved her ass.
Yeah,
Gomamon is kind of the MVP.
legitimately, like
My the Edamon was not prepared for my very unconventional power.
summoning the fish. Doesn't even need to be water nearby. It just the fish can just appear.
Yeah.
If Goemon can teach them to synchro summon, he said.
Taichi is surprised when the Greymon looks at him and is about to kill his ass. And he starts screaming like, Greymon, you have to Digivolve. Like, come on, Digivolve. And to his credit, Greymon does in fact begin to Digivolve. We get
But like,
a sneak
like
peek of the
Digivice-
sequence.
yeah, but it's like Digivice starts glowing green. I know it's like immediately there's like a sign something's off.
Yeah, and like the beam that shoots out of it is like really like an orange and green kind of
It's like
thing.
invert its color.
Yeah. and it shoots through the crest, which shoots up into the air, but then like it's a dark miasma spiral that forms.
Yeah, and then I think like as soon as like the fog starts spewing out, the song just stops.
Yeah, Braveheart stops again. And it's like,
Ruh-roh.
And then we get fucked up in evil Greymon evolution into SkullGreymon, which everyone's like, oh, that's really bad, actually.
Yeah, everyone's like, again, it's like, it's like just immediately everyone's like, wait a minute, that don't seem right. I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like at first they're just like, yeah, he's digivolving, and then he stops, and they're just like, that doesn't
Yeah.
that doesn't seem
It doesn't
right.
seem right.
I like
Like,
that.
I think Braveheart gets interrupted and everything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really, really good.
I think the Taichi getting the idea that if I kill myself, Greymon will evolve is really funny.
Yeah, I mean, to
It's
be
like-
fair, that's what
It's
they
like, to be
think.
fair, that's what's worked so far, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like,
It's not a good plan, but
yeah,
it's a plan.
Yeah.
but it's also like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's definitely like this thing of like, I completely understand why he's thinking and acting this way.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
SkullGreymon just absolutely stomps the bad Greymon.
It's like, it just tosses the evil Greymon and then fires like his like big missile on his back and just evaporates him and half the stadium instantly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, oh fuck, we gotta stop him right now. So everyone else digivolves in an attempt to stop him, and he just like throws them around and
Swats
brushes
them.
them off like it's nothing.
Yeah, not even like
Mm-hmm.
throws them. He just swats them.
Again, I've said this like 3 times, but it's really good that when I believe it's Tentomon Digivolve,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Braveheart is like being distorted.
Mhm.
Shit. It's cool.
It's
Oh,
really
Oh no,
really
there's a
cool.
good bit because everyone is immediately digivolved, and then Pentamon like steps in. It's like,
Mhm.
I'll help, and then he like just squares up to SkullGreymon, and he just goes nope, and then flies away.
It's like, never mind, not doing it. So SkullGreymon, instead of murdering everyone on site, great self-restraint there, instead decide to just kick a wall of the stadium down.
Yeah, he just
And then
starts
walk-
tearing the stadium out, and then starts like rampaging around for a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then like after a minute or so, he like just runs out of steam and digivolves all the way down to Koromon.
Yeah.
And
Because he's that burnt out.
Taichi runs up and he's just like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry, little guy."
He's like, I fucked up. I'm
yeah, he's
really
like-
bad. I'm sorry.
And Koromon apologizes, and Taichi's like, "No, it's not your fault. Like it's
And then
you know."
Yamato goes, Yamato goes, it's not your fault, Koromon. And then Taichi goes, I know it's mine. He's like, I was not going to say that. No, it's my fault.
And then Sora's just like, "Yeah, it is. I mean,
It's like, yeah, Jesus, I mean,
I
sorry,
mean,
you're right,
These
but
kids are
fucking Jesus.
savage.
yeah."
Turning into what's the literary fucking King of not King of the
Literary-
Hill.
Literary book.
King of the Hill? Lord of the Flies?
Lord of the Flies.
King of the Hill?
Yo, Bobby.
Terrible.
It was really
In
fucked
my
up when
defense, When I said King of the Hill, I didn't mean the show. I meant like
yeah. I know, I
the,
know.
like, game.
No, I'm just thinking like Hank. It was really fucked up when Hank threw Bobby off the cliff, and they described his brain matter being splattered on the rocks. Anyway, that's the end of episode 16. Ugh.
I just really like that, like, okay, we're not that far off from like getting a perfect, but like, I like
Mhm.
this, like, oh, you got a perfect earlier on, but it's like you forced it and you didn't do it right at all. So here's like,
Yep.
here's just like your repercussions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's really solid. Moving right into the dub zone for episode 16. Dark Evolution SkullGreymon has been changed to The Arrival of SkullGreymon, so that's fine.
And
It's a worse title, but
yeah.
it's still fine.
Yeah.
So does anyone remember what SkullGreymon's attack is called in Japanese? They don't say it, but they sure do list it on the information screen.
I
Oh
do
God.
not.
It's
No.
like is it like Death Blaster or something
No.
like that?
His attack is called Ground Zero.
Oh yeah, that's it, Ground Zero.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
was this dub post 2001?
Nope. It was
Is it still
2000.
called Ground Zero?
They don't
Oh,
say
boy.
it. They don't say it. They don't say it. They don't
What's the
mention it.
keep
Oh yeah,
I
they
highly-
completely redid like those like Digimon visuals as well, didn't they?
No, those I don't think they redid the name. But the info they just left in Japanese. They weren't going to bother with that.
Oh no, I'm
That's
thinking
really
of
funny.
02 because 02s look very different.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Okay.
a shocking amount of like Japanese media that just like either predicts or just happens to coincide with 9/11.
All right. Thumbnail idea is just. Never mind. I'm not going to continue that thought.
Where was he?
Terrible.
Hey. What day are we releasing this episode?
The 12th. It's the 12th.
Okay.
Fuck.
9/11 is tomorrow.
Can you imagine?
Can
God.
you release it tomorrow as a
Or
little
no.
treat?
Oh, fucking.
God.
Somehow I doubt this would happen. But imagine we're just like, oh, you just lost a subscriber.
In the comment section, like, how dare you joke about
My
this?
dad died in 9/11.
Like, damn, sorry, dude. My dad died like 2 years ago. You don't see me crying about it. Anyway.
Okay.
I might cut this entire discussion. Anyway, the dub. Sora does the recap. She says that rock and roll digi jerk Edamon, which is the only real line of note during the recap. In the dub, Tai is way fucking meaner. Like,
Yeah, I
so
remember
much
that.
more
Like,
mean.
That is
pretty
like something
mean.
I do remember. They really play up just how fucking aggressive he is about trying to get Agumon to evolve.
One of his specific lines is either you get to the next level or I get a new Digimon. Like, bro,
Ugh.
shut up.
I feel like
It's
there's
like-
not like a way to come back from that one.
There really
It's
is.
like, okay, I know you were like, oh, Tai Chi's really mean in this set, like in the sub. You were like, oh, Tai Chi's
Mhm.
really mean, but you know what I mean? It's you understand why he's thinking and acting this way, and it's not
Yeah.
like he's like, oh, fuck you, Agumon. He's just like being really persistent and pushy with him.
Because yeah, he feels like he's the only one that could take charge if they encounter Edamon again.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then during the flashback, when there's this one kid diving for the soccer ball, he had the most whisper scream I've ever heard in my entire life. He's like, ah! It was so bad. For whatever reason, in the dub, they just know what all the names of the crests are because they never talk about the crest names in the sub. I don't think.
Yeah,
See-
I don't think I'm gonna assume the crash names don't come up, if at all, until they like the moment where they evolve happens.
I think they do because I specifically remember Mimi or Lilymon talking about sincerity, but like Sora specifically says the crest of courage, and it's like they're not supposed to know what these. Well, whatever. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
They removed the joke about Palmon's big hands. Fucked up. They shouldn't have done that.
Fucked up.
Palm on erasure.
It is. Yeah.
They don't believe in goalkeeper Palmon.
They do say she should be the goalkeeper, but it just seems like a non sequitur because the joke about her big hand is removed.
Mhm.
At one point, Edamon screams "Goal," which is great. In the dub, this was like genuinely funny. Tentamon says, "Does he really think he can trap us with a simple net?" And then he flies up into it and goes, "Gah!"
That's
Really
all
good.
To be fair, that's like the same kind of vibe as
Yeah.
like in the sub where he's like, just like a little like electricity ain't gonna stop. Ow!
It was just a really good line read, and I thought it was funny. At the end of the episode, when Koromon is apologizing to Tai, it's Mimi's VA.
What?
I don't know why. My assumption is that, oh, oops, we forgot to get this read when whoever voices Koromon was in the booth. Mimi, you're kind of similar sounding. Do the line real quick.
You know what? I'm
Very,
going to check this right now.
very
That's
weird.
Weird.
It's in the dub, episode 16, toward the end. It is Mimi's voice coming out of that Koromon. At first, I thought it was.
I mean, it was like,
Oh,
were they like, did she also voice Koromon but just forgot to change her voice?
oh,
Or-
that's maybe. I thought it was just that they forgot to do the like we need you to really quickly do this read thing because there's something that happens in episode 19 that's insane to the point where I was like, there's no way they thought this was passable.
Okay, yeah, she is specifically credited as Koromon, but just for episode 16.
Okay, so they just forgot to get the VA in there. That's so weird.
That's really weird. What the hell?
They just were just like, oh shit, like Koromon only shows up in the last it has one line at the end of the episode. We don't want to pay the VA for it. Mimi, you want to, or whoever does Mimi, you want to do an extra line read here? But weird thing. And then during the wrap up thing, Ty's like, one thing's for sure, I learned my lesson. Like, okay. Sure thing, buddy. And we can move into episode 17, The Illusory Ship's Captain, Kakatorimon. The opening music to this episode is a marimba. It's really cool. I like it.
Oh yeah, there
Awesome.
was like I was a person I doesn't know just but there's this really nice little song out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a nice little marimba track. Nice. But they're all again walking through the goddamn desert, and they are again complaining about the heat. Okay, and then there's a really nice little part here where like Mimi has like a sincere and genuine little like back and forth with Taichi that's really nice.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, like it wasn't your fault. Like we understand why you were acting the way you were. It's okay, man.
Yeah, it's like you just wanted to like protect everyone. It's like and like you can't like okay you hurt Agumon because of it, but like you can make things right with him. So just focus on that.
Yeah, it was a nice little moment. I liked it a lot. Palmon begins to hallucinate.
I don't know if it's a hallucinate, more like fantasize.
Because like, well, it makes it seem like it's a hallucination because she talks about wanting to like find a giant cactus. And then she imagines the giant Togemon staring down at them with a big smile.
You know what she says? I want to be a giant cactus.
So that she could provide shade for everyone.
And then she's
like
also...
I believe her exact quote is, I want to be a cactus.
But then she's also under the cactus. So it's really hard.
Like, hold on. It just made me think of, if has anyone ever seen that image from like when FF14 did it? This is very specific. When FF14 did a hairstyle competition.
The baby hair one?
Baby hair. I want to be a baby.
I want to be a baby.
Yeah.
God.
Sorry.
That's fine. So they find a giant cactus. And they all start rushing toward it because hell yeah, it's a cactus. And of course they find out it's a mirage as they approach it because it doesn't have a shadow.
Which by the way,
yeah,
just don't work like that.
It's true. They don't.
It literally, I live in Florida. We get them all the time here when like you're looking at like the hot pavement. It just makes things look more reflective and like water almost, which is why the whole mirage like
an oasis. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think there's an oasis because you see like the heat, flutteredness, and all that.
Well, it's not even that. Like, so with mirage, like it literally looks like there's water like a far distance from you, and no matter how far you go, it just keeps staying that distance away from you. It's not even like the heat being shimmery. It's literally, it looks like water because it's reflecting the
okay, but consider
light.
I want to be a cactus.
True.
Fair enough.
So they get to the cactus and it fades away, and as it turns out, it was a projection from Genai, which is kind of fucked up of him to do.
Yeah.
Like,
and then he's like,
really
he's like, you're bad. He was like, we don't want these fucking crests anymore. And then he's like, you chill, you'll be fine. Just raise your Digimon properly. And then he gets cut out again.
Yeah. He tells them to accept the responsibility, and all of the Digidestined basically all say something along the lines of, I'm not ready to raise a kid. Like, what does that even mean? Raise them correctly. And then a ship appears out of nowhere. They just
no. Oh wait, there's one good line from that bit. Gavumon just like very concerned look on his face, turns to Piyomon and goes, "Are we being brought up the right way though?"
Yeah. Are they raising us right?
I worry for my future.
Are they putting away money for my college?
You don't even have a college fund.
Yes. And then the ship just appears out of nowhere. This massive cruise ship.
And then they're like, "Oh, that must be another mirage, right?" And then Yamato goes, "Oh God, no, it's not."
And they make the
reasonable reaction to have.
Yeah, they make the correct decision of running perpendicularly to the ship to get out of its way instead of trying to run away from it. And it stops for some reason right next to them. And as it turns out, it's being staffed by a bunch of Numamon in sailor outfits.
There's like a really good frame of a Numemon somewhere where he's just hanging over
Yeah,
the edge, and he's
that's in the
just like,
slideshow. Yeah, he's giving them a look like, "The fuck you kids want?"
"Are you serious?" And they're like, "Please, we're really hot and tired and hungry. Can we like rest on your boat?" And he's
And-
like, "God no, go away."
And then Mimi, remembering
He's like, "Leave
trauma.
this to me."
He says, "I got this."
and does a little sequence where she's like, "Can we please go on the ship?" And then he's immediately like, "You got it."
Ooga.
Ooga.
Jaw drops on the floor, eyes shoot
She's-
out of his
she's
skull.
she's just like, well, if I've been cursed with this with all Numemon being attracted to me, I might as well take advantage of it.
My exact note here is, this feels bad, but also Mimi is weaponizing her charm to get the group some much needed rest, so I'll give them a pass. Prediction: the dub of this episode is going to give me a conniption.
Does it?
I was thinking that was my thought when you were talking about the little Mimi bit earlier.
Yes, the dub of this episode did give me a conniption. Not this part though.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's always good.
So they all get onto the ship immediately.
It feels like a bit of a repeat of the
Mansion.
bit of
Mansion.
the mansion
a
bit
little
where they're all
bit.
just like, oh well, can we just eat this food? Well, let's all just eat the food.
They're a bit more ravenous in this one, I feel like.
Yeah, no. I mean, to be fair, it seemed like they've been stuck in that desert for a while.
Yeah.
There is a little bit I do like, because it's like they're all like separated into groups. I think like Sora and Mimi go off to have a shower. Most of the others are in the hall eating. But specifically, Joe and Taichi are just off up in the pool relaxing.
Yeah.
Because they're like the two of the crest, so they're just like having a little discussion
They're
about
chilling.
that.
While they're chilling out in the pool, it cuts to like a horror movie shot of binoculars looking at Gomamon, and then there's a white man jump scare. Yeah, and then there's a white man jump scare as it's revealed the ship's captain is looking down on them, and then there's like not even pretense. He's just like, all right, and then he throws off his disguise and he's a giant.
He does he bursts out of his skin in like a horror movie reveal. But like, why do you do it like this? There's no one watching.
Why not?
They were just like, oh, this episode's gonna run a little long. Actually, I skipped the part where he's tricking the kids. Just make it the chicken immediately.
He has like a weird verbal tick that's funny to listen to though.
Yes.
Like yeah or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think it's like yeah. I think that's.
Which I don't know, is that might be how a chicken sounds in Japanese.
Couldn't tell you.
But it's funny to listen to.
So he
And then
immediately he walks over to like those little pipe communication things, and he's like, "Oh,
He's
the
like-
chosen children are here. Tell everyone."
No, wait. No, first of all, he's like, I gotta contact Edamon. But like, he keeps trying to get through to Edamon. But
right.
something we forgot to mention is that in like the big skirmish with SkullGreymon, I think he damaged his dark network.
Yeah.
So he can't track them for a little bit.
It's
'Cause he
true.
smashed
Yeah.
up a-
So
everything.
like, so Cockatriemon can't contact Edamon, and he's just like, well, whatever, I'll just kill him. So he contacts Edamon, but he can't get through because his network's been damaged. But so there's this little bit with Edamon where he's like, Gazimon, fucking hurry up and fix my shit. And then he just starts singing.
Yeah. He starts putting on a concert.
And he goes, yeah!
And the Gazimon are like, oh shit, concert time! And they start dancing, and then he beats
Who told you to dance?
Yeah, and then he just smacks him like, get back to work.
And then he just cuts back to Cockatriemon, and he's like, oh, fine, I guess I'll just kill him.
Yeah, I'll do it myself.
And then he's like, hello, if you kill the chosen children, I'll give you a bonus.
Yeah, the Numamon out on the deck immediately throw nets over Joe and Taichi. Gomamon manages to destroy his net with, once again, marching fishes, saving the day.
Those
That
fish can do anything.
Dude, that move can just do anything. That move has saved them so many times.
It turned into a boat.
Koromon manages to
And
get
then-
back to Agumon
It's-
because Taichi's been captured.
It's just proof
Sheesh.
that Gomamon is the ultimate Digimon.
True.
Sure. And then
So, but then
Kakatorimon.
Cockatriemon
Yeah.
immediately jumps in and he's like, "I'll deal with you," and then he uses his power, which is to turn you to stone.
Yeah, petrifier. He just turns
There's
them
a
to stone,
catchphrase.
and they're just taken out of the fight immediately. Yeah.
I don't know why they needed
And-
to use the nets if they had that, but
Oh, you know.
Well, he's the only one who can do that.
yeah.
also, what is it with bird Digimon and having fucked up?
Have you
Yeah,
seen
I don't know.
a bird's mouth?
It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
they.
not on the outside.
Yeah, that's like a goose. This is like
Yeah,
a
it's like
this is a,
one
this is a
bird.
roost, a chicken.
The chicken.
Like it's Birdramon.
Oh yeah,
and
there's they also
Cockatriemon.
just randomly bring up during his bio that it's like, he can't fly because he fucked up his wings.
Yeah.
It's like just weirdly mean.
hmm
And okay, so this bit made me laugh really hard. It like cuts to the break after he turns them to stone and he's like, "Haha, I've got your crests." And then when it cuts back from the break, it's like immediately to just him like running around his boat, spinning the crests like they're toys, screaming. And then he like slides down a flight of stairs and crashes into a wall.
He's just like,
He's full of joy.
yeah. I'm always doing this. When I attempt to kill children and steal their toys, I run around giddy.
And then he like jumps everyone in the food court or like the dining room and just they're like, "What?" And they're just so confused that he catches them off guard.
And
And
this
turns
is
them all to stone.
yeah, this is a part that made me laugh my ass off. When he turns the three of them to stone, Tokomon just falls over.
Yeah, Tokomon just goes boom.
So funny. It's like there's like 2 frames and then it just falls over and it like makes a little noise. And for some reason I started laughing so hard I needed to pause the episode. Like just thinking about it now is making me cry laughing.
All right, okay. I need to go back real quick because I forgot to mention something. So he just kind of skimmed over the bit with Ganai because, like, he just said, he
Oh,
mentions
right,
like
yeah.
raising Digimon properly. But there's another good funny bit since we're mentioning jokes, and
Mhm.
he starts to go in depth on what it means to raise them properly, and it genuinely feels like he was just about to start giving them like giving you like advice for like a like VPED advice or something.
It does.
Always
Like
remember
his,
to give them the bathroom.
yeah, his whole speech is just like, oh, he's literally just talking about using the VPETs, which is
It's
really
like,
funny.
remember to clean up their poop.
It's very, very funny.
So the only one we're left with at this point, we're left with is Sora and Mimi.
hmm And he goes into the bathroom. He talks about how he's currently in the middle of roasting the other children alive.
Of course.
And as he gets into the bathroom with the shower running, because like you can hear the shower running in the background, but when he opens the door, they're not there, and the window's open because they, heard the commotion and got the fuck out of there. So he looks out the
And he's
window
kinda
and
like,
"Gah." He looks out the window and it's just like, what the fuck? Because there's a bunch of water, so it hard cuts to them running away in towels because they were in the
Yeah.
bathroom. And he kind of like cuts them off on like one of the little pathways on the ship, and they have a little back and forth, and he shoots the little petrifier at them, and they manage.
I'm like, we
Dodge
gotta
it.
get out of here.
Yeah, they dodge out of the way, and they run up to the actual deck of the ship. At which point they're just like, "Oh yeah, we should probably do." So
I was like, all right, I've had enough of you. Get him, Birdramon.
So, yeah. Piomon goes into Birdramon and does the meteor wing and or whatever the hell they call it in Japanese.
Yeah, it's Meteor Wing.
Oh, it's still
Yeah.
meteor wing? Okay, that didn't change that.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, it's not fair, I can't fly.
Yes.
And
and then
like, quick, Palmon, get him.
yeah, and then Palom becomes Togemon, gets him with the
And-
needle spray, and then gets him with this really well animated
Yeah.
jab into uppercut combo that looks sick as hell. It's
It was
really,
really good.
cool.
And he launches him like right into like the
smokestack.
chimney,
Yeah,
the smokestack.
and it explodes. And at that point, they're just like, "We need to get off the ship. Everyone off the ship. We're
all the
leaving."
Numemon running. All the Numemon just immediately been like, oh, we should probably get out of here.
And so all the kids and everyone's off the ship, and they're walking through the desert again. They're just like, "Well, this sucks."
And then it cuts back and it's like, oh, Cockatriemon has survived somehow. And he just starts chasing after them with the boat. And they're like, ah, fuck.
And this
And
time
then they find
just
another cactus.
this time they opt to not run aside the ship to prevent it from running them over. They just run away from the ship for no reason. And they see the giant cactus, which, you know, they're just like, oh god, it's another mirage. No, wait, it's real. This one has a shadow. So they run behind it, and then in another weirdly well-animated sequence,
It's like,
the ship
boing.
hits it, flips over it, it does the goofy bend backwards, and then flings the ship into the air.
And then it like, because like the reason the boat can move around is because it's like part of, because it's like got like a cable on it, because it's like part of
Yeah,
the dark network stuff.
And then it
And then
explodes.
the cable snaps, at which point the whole ship just blows up.
For no reason. Funniest sequence of events they could have possibly had here.
And then
My-
doesn't like Kakatrimon start like doesn't
Yeah.
he like get out launched in the air and he's like, I'm flying?
Yeah. He starts celebrating that he can fly, and then the ship explodes and does the Dragon Ball Z final cell getting blown apart by the Kamehameha.
And
Or-
then
Palmon
we
meets her
end
hero.
with- yeah, her cactus. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, I want
yeah.
to be just like you. And then like really nice little bit of foreshadowing. The
Yeah.
cactus blooms a little lily, and the
Yeah.
crest comes out of that, and like Mimi's like, because like earlier on, because like Mimi was the one early on who's like, I don't, just after seeing SkullGreymon, I just don't want my crest.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want
But
that
the-
kind of responsibility, but she has that really nice moment with Taichi where she's being very sincere about the whole thing.
Yeah, but then like, you know, she gets her crest and she's just like, like, but she's not like angry, but she's just like, I'm still not sure about this.
Yeah, she's like, I don't particularly know if I want this right now.
But oh well, I have it. So
Mhm.
on we go.
That's how the episode ends. With this, it ends with a really nice shot of like the landscape shot that's like all watercolored, like a sunset with the cactus and stuff. Really nice.
Good episode.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
this episode. It has nothing to do with the fact that there's a lot of meme content in it. I swear to God.
No, it's just a good episode.
All right, so now it is time for the Dub Zone, episode 17. The
Yay.
episode title has been changed to "The Crest of Sincerity."
Oh my god.
'Cause,
This is
yeah,
like One Piece, like where like the title of an episode spoils the content of the episode. Like I'm pretty sure there's an episode where a specific character dies. I'm sure that if you guys know anything about One
Yes.
Piece, you probably know which character it is. And literally the title of the episode is "This person dies."
Oh, so it's the Joey thing. I sure hope
die,
Junoichi's
Junoichi.
okay. I sure hope Junoichi's
Junoichi.
okay. Next episode, Junoichi dies. So fucking
It's
funny.
Like, why would you do that?
God. But other name changes, Petrifier actually remain the same. And Kakatorimon, they actually keep the same, which I was
mean-
very surprised.
Because
like-
his name has the word cock in it.
Well, yeah, but I don't think cock was like a common like quote unquote swear or insult
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
back in the. It
Well, I mean, not
was?
like a swear, but it was like very commonly used, known as a word for penis.
Yeah.
Well,
it-
yeah. I just mean like nowadays. I feel like people are saying it all over the place.
You were like 5 when this came out.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't even born.
True.
I'm glad that you think I'm 27.
Yeah,
I
so,
keep forgetting this isn't mid 2000s media.
yeah, it's 1999. So yeah, that's unchanged. There's the Ty does the recap. He says, "I'll never do that again," in reference to fucking up Agumon, I guess.
It's like, oh, you.
At the beginning of the episode, they started talking about they say techno doofus Edamon.
That's
Which
a
is-
good. That's a good
yeah.
insult.
It was
Techno
just a
doofus.
little funny thing. In order to get a line read that matched the lip flaps,
Oh no.
Sora, like, Biyomon says something to Sora, and she just goes, "Not even." Like, there's this really long gap. It's really
Not
funny.
Eggman. I wonder what happened to Sonic.
So funny. And now the part of the episode that gave me a conniption. All right, so you remember the really nice little conversation back and forth Mimi and Taichi had?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna read this note verbatim because it is 4 lines long. The dub hates me, bro. Come the fuck on. You replace her genuine, sincere concern with a snarky comment, and then have her be like, "No problem. Always ready for a pep talk. I hate you. I hate you. Die, die, die."
Sounds
you
fun.
were filled with rage.
I was so angry. I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me. You can't even let her have this."
Of course not.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just read my next note and I forgot this happens. When Genai's talking about like some of the technobabble stuff, Mimi says in English, and my immediate thought was
They fucked our pussies.
in English, 4 eyes.
They fucked our pussies.
Anytime I hear it, I just immediately think of that. And what like Koramon's sad at one point and starts crying, but the crying is really realistic in the dub for some reason. Like really realistic. It's kind of
Oh.
off-putting.
Jesus.
Maybe it's a stock. Is it like a stock?
I don't even think so. It sounded like the proper read and everything.
Huh.
Um,
Imagine that.
so during the part where Mimi gets them onto the ship, it's pretty much the same. Like she doesn't like. There's no. They didn't really have enough dialogue to fuck up, so it's more or less the same. Other than the fact she starts it with "Hey, big boy," which was funny, so I was fine with it.
Hey, baby.
Just kidding. The dub hates Mimi. Right as they enter the ship, she says, "No linen tablecloths. I guess we can rough it." Because fuck you.
Why do you care about if it's linen or not?
When they're talking about the food, Matt says another alien plot to something
Okay.
Izzy says. I don't know what the context was. I guess it was the whole Izzy being obsessed with aliens in the dub thing.
Yeah, wasn't that like in like the very first episodes where
He occasionally mentions it in later ones, but yeah. In the dub, Genai is like rather than just being like you have to raise them correct. Like he's implying like things might like if you continue the way you're doing it right now, like you're gonna if you keep doing things wrong or stuff like that. In the dub, he's just like you're fucking up. What you're doing is wrong. Like
you're
full
doing
stop.
it all wrong. Sorry, I had to.
And it's fine. Minor change, but just a really weird one. Kagatorimon says, "I'm Kagatorimon. My cockadoodle-doo will blow out your eardrums."
Excuse me.
Okay.
I need to call the police.
When Kagatorimon first shows up in front of Sora and Mimi, Sora says, "It's not the Easter chicken." Fucking whatever.
What?
Writing jokes is so easy.
It's so easy, dude. When after Togemon punches Kagatorimon into the smokestack and explodes, one of them says, "Fried chicken." Ah. Bizarre.
Awesome.
Mimi directly refers to it as the crest of sincerity when she gets it, which is
Sure.
bizarre.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to reread this note because it's 4 lines long. I need to make sure I say this correctly. Okay. So do you remember at the end when she's kind of like flip-flopping about not being really sure about wanting the responsibility of having the crest and being able to raise Palmon correctly?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. The dub hates Mimi, multi-hit combo.
Oh no.
She begins criticizing a bunch of Palmon's like mannerisms and stuff.
I'm going to kill them.
Right.
because raising her correctly or whatever. And as she is doing that, Tai talks over that about, well, she's a dit, but she's a great friend, and that's why she got this crest. Good
Okay.
call.
Oh,
Totally cool.
no.
So it was like 2 at once from 2 separate directions, and I felt like I was being assaulted. So I don't know how many to count that as.
I think that's 2.
Like, it's just 2, but they happened in rapid succession, so,
Maybe it's 2 squared.
just like it becomes exponential.
Yeah.
Just add 4 to the counter. Fuck it. No, it'll probably just count this too.
Do we? Don't answer.
Do we have a counter?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have a counter. I have the counter on screen during any of the dub
Awesome.
zone sections. Yeah, I've been increasing anytime. I increase it every time I said the dub hates me.
Nice.
Awesome.
We're at like 17, and I only started with the second set. All right, but that was it for that one. Surprisingly tame episode
Very-
aside from the 2 parts that made me nearly tear my hair out.
Now we're at episode 80.
Yeah, we're an hour in though, so we can go ahead and do our usually scheduled mid roll.
Yeah.
So guys, I've been thinking about Digimon lately, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
As I do, as I do
Mhm.
every single week.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, hey, what's a cool Digimon? Big Mamimon. I've never shown you this before.
Nope.
Yep.
We've
I've
never seen this before.
Digimon
No.
before.
Like, that's cool. It's Big Mamimon.
I love this
He's
fancy
like a
graphic.
variant of Mamimon.
Mhm.
He's
Who's
orb.
do you know that Mami is a word that usually means small?
Wow.
Awesome. Big
So he's
small
usually called. So his name is Big Smallmon.
Hell yeah.
I wish that was
I
my name.
also like that he's usually surrounded by a bunch of smaller, tiny Mamimons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's big.
And he
small
always just
mon
look
with
and he
small-
always just looks like he kind of hates you.
There's
He
a
looks
certain-
like a
Yeah,
mean
he
little
would
lad.
probably beat the shit out of me. I think.
If you look up Big Mamimon, most of the at least anime screenshots are like him about to fight someone.
Yes. 100%. There's also this image of him T-posing.
Awesome.
As well as he can.
It's kind of hard
It's a
to
bit of a-
T-pose when you're a sphere.
When you're a Big Mamimon.
It's a rough life out there for all those big Mamimons out there.
Admittedly, the T-posing does kind of look like he's about to do that maneuver where he slams his hands into both sides of your head at the same time to completely throw off his
See,
inner ears.
Discombobulate.
I thought it was like the souls like praise the sun.
In short, discombobulate.
God.
Either way it goes.
Also, Mamimon's just funny. Every form of Mamimon is just funny to me. It's like
Very true.
that's just a guy.
Does
Mhm.
anyone know like the origin of like the bandages on the belly button area? Where does that come from?
I
First
think
thing that
that's
comes to mind is Punch Out, but it's definitely not it.
I think that's just like a stock Japanese thing, just like weird censor your belly button with a bandage.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. All right. Thank you very much, Momo, for sharing. For the
The,
Yeah,
First
as we do every
time.
week.
Yes.
Yep.
the
I
first
mean-
time.
First time sharing Big
That's we-
Mamimon.
First time Big Mamimon, but we've done this like three times
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the 4th episode of Momo's Digimon of the Week, as we all know.
Yeah.
Of course.
We didn't start doing this a few weeks in and then immediately lose the footage.
No, that didn't
No,
happen.
we've never lost footage on this
No.
podcast.
Of course.
I just want to make sure you're all thinking about Big Mamimon.
Oh
It's-
yeah, the rest of the day in the brain.
It's true. We've never lost footage.
We've never fucked up audio.
No, yeah, that we've definitely never fucked up audio. Never in a million years. Anyway, we can get right into episode 18, The Fairy Piccolomon.
I fucking love this episode.
I was gonna say
I
that
don't
this
love
one
this
seems-
episode.
I was going to say this one seems to be a little divisive. I really liked it.
It's
This is
really
the-
funny.
Okay, I like Piccolomon. I just don't like the episode though.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's all about Piccolomon. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
me and Leon
He's
are in
a
the
little dude.
me and Leon are in the 75% of this episode doesn't really need to exist camp, and thus we don't really like it. And you guys like the episode in general, which is totally valid. We can have differing opinions without being at each other's throats. This isn't
No,
Millwake.
no, I'm done with this fucking podcast now.
Wait, no, hold on.
This is it. That was the last Digimon of the week. You're fucking getting out of me.
I was excited at the beginning because like the very first thing that happens is Kuwagamon comes back,
Yeah,
then
And
he
they're
just-
like, he's a thousand times stronger.
and then he just he gets killed off like a chump.
well, I mean, to be fair, it's not because
He
they
is
don't
a
have.
chump. It's Kuwagamon.
Yeah, And also, they don't bring up Piccolomon's information, but Piccolomon's a perfect level.
No, they
No,
do.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, they do?
I know.
Yeah,
It's
and
really
it says
fun.
perfect. Like no one ever goes like, "Oh, you're a perfect," but like it's there in his thing.
Mhm.
It says he's a perfect.
Oh,
I
shit,
think it's
didn't
implied
know
that
about
only the viewer sees that information.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I assume all the Digimon know he's like a strong guy,
Mm.
For the most
yeah.
part.
and like
And-
so so they're like, "Where the hell did that come from?" And then there's like, okay, so this might only come in the subs I watch specifically, but there's a bit where Agumon and Taichi are just like looking at the floor,
Yeah.
and you just see P P P
P-
P,
P-
Yeah.
and it trails
Yeah,
down
yeah, yeah,
Piccolo as he's
Really
just
good.
walking across the frame.
Yeah, the subs are like, the P's are like following him as he walks across. It's so good. It's so good.
And so Piccolomon introduces himself, and he's just like, "I gotta say, you guys, you're the Digi-destined, you're the chosen children. I gotta say, you're doing a sorry fucking job. I'm gonna fucking do a bit of
Whip
training
you
with
into
Well,
guys."
yeah.
shape.
Because
He's rude as
Mimi
hell.
like picks him up and just like, oh, he's so cute. And then he's like, you all
And he's
suck.
like, "You
And she's
guys
like,
suck ass," and he's
and
like,
she's like-
"I don't think he's cute anymore."
she's like, oh, never mind. So funny.
I think we gotta show this down.
Digimon.
I also like his actual introduction frame when he turns around. It's like he's really small. Like the entire top 75% of the frame is just sky, and he's there in the
Mhm.
center, really tiny, and it's just beep,
Yeah, it's like no,
Really good.
Piccolomon is like minuscule.
itty bitty.
He's so fucking tiny.
Yeah, he
You
has
don't
his
even know.
he throws his bit bombs.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what he sounds like.
Yeah, he's great.
What is it with? Never mind. That one wasn't
Okay.
gonna make sense if I went with that one.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Bit
So
abandoned.
It wasn't even a bit. I was thinking about Kid Icarus.
Okay.
So Piccolomon's like, "All right, I'll take you to my place and we'll do some training." And then he's like, "Hey, my place is like obscured and hidden. It's like there's a barrier, so
Oh.
Adamon won't see us."
Don't mess
Mhm.
up the barrier.
He casts
And
his
then he's
magic
like,
spell.
"Alright." And then he immediately is like, yeah, he starts like spouting gibberish every time he does a little spell. I love it. And
It's-
then he's like, "All right." Oh, sorry, you go.
the subs actually like romanized his little spell, which I was not expecting.
And it's like that's probably accurate, but it still doesn't mean anything.
It's just gibberish.
And then I'm probably going to be informed that it does actually mean anything, and then I look like a fool.
I'm sure.
But,
Probably.
Yeah, they walk through the jungle for a bit, and they're like, "Ooh, I'm not dying of heat stroke
Yeah,
anymore."
It's great. They're in a little jungle.
And then they see a giant mountain, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, my house is up there. Let's climb. The training starts now." And then
Tentomon's like,
Tentomon's like, "Heh."
so long, suckers.
And Tetsuo's like, "Heh, this is gonna be easy for me." And then Piccolo slaps him. He's like, no flying on this training."
Which, fair.
Yeah.
But he
Makes
was
sense.
like, he was still fucking like mischievous.
Yeah.
About it. Heh, this is gonna be easy for me.
That it just hard cuts to them being miserable and panting as they get to the top of the
And it's like,
the thing.
and then you see like Piccolomon's like house, and it's like this like temple with like a bunch of statues of Piccolomon.
It's really good.
It's very good. Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, all you guys, you're gonna scrub all my floors." And Agumon and Taichi, they're coming with me. You got special training.
Yeah, they get them special training because of their evil evolution induced PTSD.
Yeah.
And
so
so-
yeah, the kids begin scrubbing, and there's a cool thing where it's like doing a panning shot back and forth where all their positions are changing each time it pans. Really nice. Tokamon and Takaru have a little race to see who can clean the
They're
floor
like, "Oh,
faster.
we can do it faster."
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I
then-
don't think we didn't mention it at the start, but Kuwagamon coming back is really fucking funny to me.
He just pops out of the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Literally just showed up and he's 1,000 times stronger now, apparently.
Yeah, they just go, I feel like they may be playing that up, but he's going, "Oh, it's 1,000 times stronger than before." It's like, all right.
It's just like it's not supposed to be the same Kawagamon, right?
No, it's
I
a
mean,
different
I'm pretty sure it's not the same.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah,
say it's the
'cause
same
they-
Quagamon. It's just like, oh, it's another one.
If only the
Yeah,
dub
no,
got that.
because the notes say this one's 1,000 times stronger than the one
Yeah.
on File Island.
Yeah, that was a tutorial zone, Kuwagamon. This is real shit.
This is that real shit y'all don't know
big.
about.
Yeah, then and then Piccolo no sells it.
Get bit bombed, idiot.
I forget.
So-
Are Taichi and Agumon introduced their training before or after the little bit with Sora and Mimi? Before, yeah. So
Before,
they
I
get
think, because they're
yeah.
gone for a little while.
Mm. Yeah, Piccolomon's like, all right, here's
One of this cave.
here's this mysterious
That's right.
cave.
And there's like, and then it's like really ominous because like they go in and they're like, okay, Piccolo, so what are we doing here? And then he just kind of Piccolo starts to leave and he just goes, come back.
You gotta get out. And then Taichi phases through the floor and falls into the abyss. At which point we hard cut back to the kids, and they're just like, I think it's at this point it's like nighttime, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because because they're all tuckered out, they're all sleeping. Yamato wakes up and like starts leaving, and Koshiro notices and also starts leaving. And he's just like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I mean, we're here. We may as well look for our crests, right? Like, we got nothing else to do. And then both of their tags start glowing because they're just like, oh shit.
It's like, okay, so this has been a bit of a running thing. We're like, oh, we're just gonna just give everyone the crest because we don't really want to deal. We just kind of want to get through that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable, but in like all the other every other time a character's gotten a crest, it's like it's been accompanied by like some kind of character moment, or it's like leading them somewhere. Like Agumon's Taichi's and Joe's crest led them to like an escape tunnel or a cave or something like that. This one is just they find them.
Yeah,
they're both in a well outside the barrier.
Yeah, they leave the barrier and then they just find them.
Like,
also,
admittedly, on the way there, they have a conversation that plays into what their crests are about.
Yeah,
so like,
oh, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, of course, it's like it's not like completely out of nowhere, but it's like this is like the only one where like it doesn't feel like where it's like, okay, you can just have your crest.
Yeah, they're just in a fucking well.
Yeah, of course, there was like, oh, I'm just very curious about like what they could turn into.
Yeah.
And then Yamato, I forget what he says.
He wants to improve himself.
Yeah. He wants to like. It's like, oh well, yeah. He says, well, like, the Digimon aren't the only one who gets stronger as they evolve. As they evolve.
He wants to improve himself, like as a person.
Which it's like that's is a nice scene. That is a really nice little bit, but it's also just like it's just kind of funny that it's at the part. Okay, just get everyone the crest so we can get to this next part.
Which, all things considered, that actually doesn't play into Yamato's crest theme at all. But whatever.
It's fine. Anyways, can I just say it's really funny that it's Joe and Yamato that are just chilling, exploring, right?
Koshiro,
yeah.
Koshiro
and Yamato. It's like, why do they go? Yeah, it's fine. We can just go without our Digimon in the really kind of scary looking area that's covered in crosses that are stabbing into the earth.
I guess because it's like right next to the barrier.
Yeah, because
I guess.
Yeah, they say like, oh, we're inside the barrier. Nothing can harm us in here, so we don't need our partners right now. Which
I guess
fair.
But I mean, I personally would not be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, like they shouldn't have, but
yeah. I mean, let's be fair. Like a couple of crosses is probably not gonna phase you after some of the shit they've seen.
True.
Yeah, fair.
They fought the fucking devil like a week or two ago.
Yeah, so
true.
They just jump in a well and the crests are just there. They're just like on the wall and they start spinning around and become the crests. And then they and then the little wire pops up and is like, oh hey, found the children, and it turns out it's one of Edamon's little dark network cables.
Yeah, because he's finally got it back up and running, and he's like, oh wait a minute, they're around here. What the shit?
He's like, they're in area. Oh, sorry, I'm doing the English dub.
Oh no,
it's so like imprinted on me because it's so good. Like, they're in G3. We just went by that area, you stupid bastard. And then he like clocks the Gazimon upside the head, and then so they go back to it. And then the next morning, like everyone wakes up because Piccolomon's like slamming on a little bucket with his spear.
Fucking wake up!
And they notice that Yamato and Koshiro aren't there.
I was like, where did they fucking go?
And then the girls joke around and tease Joe
like,
about
well, maybe you're next,
gonna
Joe.
disappear next.
First it
Yeah.
was Taichi, then Yamato and Goshiro went away. What if you're next, Joe? And I like how like there was no communication between them. Sora just starts saying that, and Mimi's just like, "Oh, we're doing this. Let's go."
Yeah.
You know,
just,
I've
fucking sheer
like, oh, I've
instinct.
been waiting years to do this bit.
What I call girl solidarity.
Mhm. Just bullying Joe on pure instinct.
I mean, Joe is very bullyable. Let's
He
be
really
real.
is.
True. Also,
He's
all
just
the,
like me, for real.
all the kids are
Mhm.
just meditating.
Mhm.
Like they're just meditating there, except Gabumon's like, Gabumon, your form sucks. Get back into proper shape.
Aw.
I'm so mean to him.
And then Tyrannomon shows up.
And then
Hell yeah,
Tyrannomon just like
Tyrannomon.
it's like attacks, like just jumps up and attacks. It's like they attack Yamato and Koshiro, and then they get chased, and then they flee back to
Mhm.
the barrier, right?
Yeah, and
Mhm.
yeah, they go back
And
inside the
he just
barrier,
immediately-
and Tyrannomon
and he
just
breaks
smashes
through.
it. Yeah, he's got like 6 or 7 of the cables, like
Yeah,
tethering
he's
him.
he's like juiced up.
Mhm.
Oh wait, no, it's and they're like everyone's like, all right, let's fucking fight Tyrannomon, but then Edamon starts singing again, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
god,
Love
Yep.
Serenade.
and
Then it cuts back to
and so
'cause- yeah.
Piccolomon like starts protecting the kids.
Yeah, he puts up a little barrier and it's like, well, I can hold them off. I sure hope Taichi and Agumon are coming back soon. And then it cuts to them who are unconscious in a boat,
Floating.
spinning in circles as they float by like illusions of a human city.
There's
I'm
like
sure
a little
that's
bit
symbolic of
there's like
something.
Yeah.
there's like a little bit earlier where they're like dicking around on the boat, and like
They
Mhm.
fall into
like
the water.
Taichi falls out. He's like, "What are you doing, Agumon? I'm trying to help."
Then he pulls Agumon into the water with him. But yeah, so now they get to like this illusory city almost, and it cuts to like this view on top of a bridge where we see a baby
bicycle.
Taichi, yeah, a little
Mhm.
bicycle, and a baby Taichi starting to ride, falling over, starting to ride, falling over, and he's like
Yeah.
crying, and he starts saying like, "I'm never gonna be able to ride it. It's so frustrating that I can't do it. I may as well just give up." And then Taichi's like, "No, dude, come on.
No, you can't give up. You just gotta
Yeah.
brush yourself off, get back up, keep trying.
Yeah, 1 or 2
And then
failures
Agumon and
isn't the
Taichi.
end."
Yeah, it's like that's not just messing up is in the end. And then he's like, and then Taichi and Agumon help him get back up and ride the bike for real.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Damn." And then Taichi's just like, "Damn, I can't believe I forgot something so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Agumon."
Thanks, Agumon.
And then they just start hearing screaming.
Yeah, then it's like, oh, everyone's dying. We should probably go. And then they find their
Yeah.
way back off screen. Doesn't matter. Greymon just like tackles Tyrannomon from behind to prevent the fire blasts from happening over and over again. And then he does like a vertical suplex on
Yeah,
him.
he fucking like they fight for a little bit, and then he grabs him and does like a whole suplex
It's
and
great.
tears out like every single dark cable.
And then he starts doing he does like multiple mega flames that explode the flowers that I think that were tethered to him, seemingly. Because they had like the cables running up to the flowers too. It was kind of weird.
I assume that's where the cables are coming from.
Mm-hmm. He busts all those. He defeats Tyrannomon just instantly. Like there's not even a fight, really. He just kind of rinses him.
And
And
I
then-
like the bit. There's like a little bit at the end where Piccolomon's like, "Well, thank God he finally showed up. I would have had to do it myself."
Yeah, it's like
I just like that little implication. Like, no, Piccolo could have handled it, but I had to teach them a lesson.
yeah, wanted Taichi to have the opportunity to grow past his failure.
Of course.
The reason I feel like this episode's not great is because of the fact that Yamato and Koshiro just find their crests in a well. There's no like lead up to it. And a majority of like the Piccolomon stuff, while it's funny, doesn't like matter at all.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I
The,
feel
like the Taichi
oh.
stuff matters, but like I feel like the rest of it just doesn't.
Like the meditating.
I mean,
Sticking
granted, I
around for a
assumed,
bit.
I assumed that was just all a ruse. I assumed the whole point for Piccolomon was just to teach this lesson to Taichi.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I still feel like he could have had the other kids doing something.
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like about as much here happens in another episode.
Mhm.
I guess
I like-
I wish that the Taichi stuff would have gotten more focus.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just see them drifting through the water, and then it cuts back, and then you see them fall out of the boat, and then it cuts back, and then they do the lesson in like a minute, and then it cuts back. Like I feel like the majority of the episode should have been focused on that specifically.
Mhm.
Like rolled everything back, just had or maybe have this episode come later once. Maybe have an episode dedicated to Yamato and Koshiro getting their crests, so that they can like
I
get
guess. Although I think at this point I've realized that they don't view just actually finding the crest as the important part. It's
yeah,
the
like
lesson that comes from the crest.
this was what I was talking about, where it really feels like this episode in particular, and how the next one was like, oh, they really just wrote in the crest as a what do you mean
Pretty
we're
much,
going past
yeah.
episode 13 kind of thing, where it's
Like,
like we need
and
something now.
It feels like in retrospect, like the writers probably would have want like in retrospect, if they could have gone back and adjusted something, they probably would have just had the crest be in the tags to begin with.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it very clearly was like they were like told pretty close to episode 13, hey, we're doing a lot more, and they were just like, oh shit, and had to like very quickly fill out some episodes, which
Mhm.
is why Genai shows up randomly at the end of episode 13, and why the actual hunt for the crest themselves don't feel particularly meaningful in any way. Because like I feel like once we start getting into the perfect evolutions and everything, it gets a lot better, because then the crest, like what the crest is about, plays more into the evolution and stuff like that.
I mean, heck, there's even
Yeah.
there's even a bit where I think it's Koshiro says something like, "Well, we'll think more about what to do with these things when we all have them."
Yeah, like once we
Mhm.
get all of them, because like they start assuming that they need all of the crests in order to like
Yeah, because they're like,
do
"Oh, like,
anything.
yeah, like how does this thing even work? Can we even actually evolve further with these things?"
Mhm.
Like they just start asking questions like, "Well, is there even really a point when we don't have them all?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
it. I guess it's like a pacing issue, like a weird. It could have used like one more episode to get slotted in here issue. I don't know.
Mm,
It
I
just
guess
wasn't
so.
a fan of the
I
way
get
this
it.
episode went.
It just doesn't really bother. I think it's the crest thing is also just something that doesn't bother me that much because I know I know these characters are gonna get like the development from
Yeah.
these crests,
Eventually,
like
yeah.
that these crests will imply. So it's like
Yeah,
I don't know, it'll come.
this is just one of those things where it's like
They just decided they clearly just quickly decided no, the act of getting the crest doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is just another one of those things where like reviewing this as an adult, I'm just like, oh, this wasn't as good as I remember it being. Like it's still fun and everything, but like I definitely don't remember this like sequence of episodes. It's not really all of the episodes. It's like there's a couple in here that just like this like I remember it being better than this.
I don't know. I think like after I wouldn't. I'm not to say I thought the Devimon stuff was bad or anything
Mhm.
like that, but I do think like I don't know. Maybe it's just because they got a lot now that they knew the show would be longer. I feel like they got a lot more looser with the writing and stuff, and I feel like
Yeah.
the character writing and stuff just got a lot more entertaining
Yes,
after Devimon.
for sure it did. Now that they're able to be more free with like how the characters interact with each other, because they have time to kind of let them breathe.
Yeah.
It's more like I guess it's just like the overarching plot. It's not that it came to a standstill this episode. It's just like it felt like every other episode, like I can't really explain why it bothers me the way it does. It's just like this episode in particular bothered the shit out of me, and I can't put my finger on it.
I get it. It kind of feels just like filler.
Yeah, a little bit, but like not
I don't
entire.
think it's
Maybe,
like- yeah.
maybe it was the fact that the episode half felt like filler, and I was like,
Mhm.
either have it be entirely filler or have it be meaning. Like it's just like it's like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
halfway point where I was like, God damn it! It feels like it just they could have taken this and then the next episode and kind of melded them or whatever. But whatever.
It doesn't particularly bother me specifically because it's like this is what half the early episodes were anyways.
Yeah,
Like whenever there was an episode where Digimon is not evolving for the first time, it's just a bunch of nonsense happening for a bit, and it's fun and funny, but there's not really much to it. Except in this one, it was basically that. Except then they have Taichi learn a small lesson.
yeah. I guess like as the world's #1 Ghost Game fan, where to
Yeah,
be perfectly like fair about Ghost Game, literally nothing happens in 50% of the episodes.
yeah,
But like I like those a lot more because I guess I like the character interactions that happen in Ghost Game a lot more. I guess they already knew that it was going to be that long, so they were able to plan out stuff. It was Monster of the
Mhm.
Week format lends itself better to that, et cetera, et cetera. But
yeah.
yeah, and I don't want this to be too long, so. All right, moving
If,
into
if we get on to talk about Ghost Game, we'll be here for fucking forever. So let's just move on.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, yeah, we're also going to be talking about Ghost Game.
Yeah, in like 2
Yeah.
years.
Anyway, Dub
Eventually.
Zone.
The Dub
Dub
Zone, episode 18. The fairy Piccolomon has been changed to Piximon Cometh. Which
Okay.
okay.
Why did they change Piccolo
I don't know.
This
Right.
is also a fucking stupid dumb moment because there is a Digimon also called Piximon.
That's funny.
Oh god.
Yeah,
I
there
am
is.
genuinely. I'm thinking. Okay, is how Dragon Ball is very popular.
Yeah.
And another thing, also, people would be confused because like a Piccolo's instrument. That little thing is not an instrument.
You know, I'm gonna give this to you. I genuinely think they might have been like, we don't want the Digimon getting confused with the green man from Dragon Ball.
Probably that was probably the
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, kids would know I'm not gonna lie. I was kids. No Piccolo as the green man, not the instrument.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit Bomb has been changed to Pixie Bomb which
That's fine.
yeah.
Also,
like,
if you're wondering, his name comes from Piccolo, which means very small.
yeah,
That's funny.
funny little guy.
Yeah, he's a funny little guy.
And Tyrannomon obviously wasn't changed. Tyrannomon's attack Fire Breath wasn't said in the dub or the sub, it was just in the info screen, so it was unchanged, I'm assuming.
Cool. Okay.
Piomon does the recap. At the end, she says, Mimi realized how important she was to our adventure. Which makes no fucking sense because what?
I don't think that's the lesson she learned at all.
Yeah.
So we didn't talk about it at the very beginning of episode 18, when Taichi is walking ahead. He turns back and Takado says they're having a very important conference.
Oh yeah. He's like, it's like, guys, are we not gonna keep moving? He's like, no, we're having a very important Digimon conference. Wait, go ahead.
Mm. And in the dub, TK says they're having a very serious Digi conversation. You made me forget what I was saying. Thanks, Tai.
No!
Takaru, what's your fucking problem?
It's not Takaru, it's TK. Different characters, remember?
Oh, sure.
These are basically different shows.
Yeah.
And then when Kawagamon shows up, they're just like, oh my god, it's the same Kawagamon. He's way stronger now. And they keep saying it's the same Kawagamon from episode
It's the
1.
same one. His name is the same.
They really
pretty impressive of him to make it to the server continent as well. Then
He's just that much of a hater.
for some reason, in the dub, they seem to really play into the idea that there's only one of every Digimon in existence, despite the fact that in the literal previous episodes, there were multiple Greymon.
We have already seen multiple Gazimon, multiple Koromon, multiple every single baby.
Very, very weird.
Clearly, they all evolve into different Digimon from there, though.
Yeah.
True.
There's millions and millions.
Ignore
of Digimon
that
we just don't
Botamon
know
also
about.
evolved into a Koromon.
Yeah, we don't need to think about it. When Piximon shows up, Tentomon says he's famous for his training. So Piximon
spoilers. Tentomon
is a well. Here's the thing: is Piximon is very clearly meant to reflect a certain character archetype that is present in certain 90s films. Thankfully, he's not doing an accent. However,
did he do a bad was he
now.
about to do a terrible Chinese accent?
No, I would be talking about it if he did. Thank God he does not do that. But he has that manner of speaking. I think he even does like a Yoda line read toward the end of the episode. I think
So he's just doing like Mr. Miyagi quotes.
Yes, he's doing the very like wise sensei like manner of speaking and shit. It's bizarre.
I'll be honest, doing like that kind of speaking without doing the voice just sounds bizarre.
It is. It's really weird.
Like, thank God he's not doing the voice, but that just makes it sound even weirder to me in my head.
Yeah.
So while they're wandering, Sora's like ice cream, cold root beer. At which point everyone else says shut up, or they say stop talking, which is really funny.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. The dub hates Mimi. When they get to the stairs, she says, "I didn't bring my stair climbing sneakers." Because
Okay.
she owns
What?
multiple
These
pairs of
jokes are
shoes.
getting really fucking lazy.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
literally just she's a girl. She has multiple pairs of shoes.
Like,
Heaven forbid Dove Mimi like goes to school and realizes that she has to change her shoes every time she wants to go upstairs.
Oh,
I don't
sorry.
know.
We got a double whammy here. The dub
Oh,
hates
boy.
Mimi. There's a so at first I was like, oh, they didn't do it, thank God. And then someone else does a follow-up line that indirectly is punching down on Mimi. When they're talking about cleaning. She's just like, she talks about like not liking cleaning, which, whatever. That's totally
Yeah.
acceptable as a dub line. And then I believe Izzy says, it's such a simple task, even you can do it. I'm like, guys,
Okay.
come the fuck on. Come on.
like, what is your fucking problem?
They hate this girl so much.
Like, are
And
you
then-
sure we're friends?
And then like basically none of the dub doesn't do anything up until like the very end where Tai and Agumon are in the like weird flashback zone. Agumon says, "Greymon, my friend, I'm coming back to you." Once he gets over his trauma.
I wish I could do that.
Honestly.
Then there's another genuinely funny joke, which is I think Matt says, "We've learned a lot from you," and Joe cuts in with, "Yeah, like how to scrub floors and starve half to death," which was really funny.
That is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
And then my final thing is Pixelmon may or may not have been an exceedingly bad take on the wise karate sensei trope. Because like he
It's not
does
as bad as it could have been.
Could have been
no
worse, yeah.
bad
You didn't do the accent.
bad take because like I couldn't even tell that's what it was supposed to be until the end where he has like the almost Yoda like line read. It was really strange. Just a very, very weird take on the character.
They should have
Train
just had him.
hard, you
They should have
must.
just had him at the end of every line, and they should have just replaced all these P's with like Yoda noise. Like at the end of every sentence, he just goes,
Honestly.
It's just the part of the podcast where we all devolve into Yoda noise.
Oh, right, the magical spell was replaced by him just being like, sorry, it wasn't even gibberish.
Mortal
noises.
Mortal Kombat moves.
It was like him just like grunting and making weird noises.
Got
But
it.
yeah, that was it. All right, episode. We're running really long today. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, a little
'cause
bit.
we still got 2 more to do.
Speedrun.
Unfortunately,
really like this
kind of a
episode,
lot.
though.
Yeah, a lot happens in this episode, so unfortunately, we probably
Yeah.
can't speedrun it. Episode 19, Nanomon of the Labyrinth.
This is another really good episode.
Yeah, I like this episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
Koshiro like plugs into a random like piece of server sticking
yeah,
out of
they
the thing.
find like where like all Edamon's cables come from,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then they realize when he does that, he's like, "Wait a minute, I got an email."
Yeah.
And
He just
it's
gets an
like
email.
someone begging him for help.
Yeah. Now, so I watched the dub episode a couple days ago, so no one narrates the email, correct? Like Koshiro reads it out.
I don't think he even reads it the whole thing. He just says like, "Oh, someone's asking him for help."
Okay. Good note for later. Got it.
Cool.
So yeah, they say the person in the email is like, "I need help. I'll help you find the crests if you help me."
Or-
Which,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
yeah, something along those lines. But basically, he's just like, "I'll help you with what you need if you help me." So they're just like, "Okay, let's go start looking for this dude." And then they're just walking through the desert, and Takudo goes, "Hey, look over there!" And it's his crest just on a wall.
Yeah.
See, like, that's what, like, I mean, like, this is why, like, this one doesn't really annoy me because at least this one's like, there's like a running thing at least of like the crest like guiding them places.
Yeah,
Mhm.
at the very because like I was confused whether or not Koshiro had a location because of the email or if the crest led them there. Because it seemingly was the deal was he told them where a crest was and that would lead them to him and then he would get them the second one. Like the I might have just like missed a line or something, but the setup was really odd
I
to
don't think
me.
he said anything. I think he literally just said, come free me and I'll help you get the crest."
Okay, so yeah, it was
I don't
just
think he said anything
coincidence.
specific. Yeah.
Yeah, like at the very least, this one is leading them in the correct direction. So
Yeah, it was like a portal, so like even like a shortcut to where he was, I think.
Don't they have like all the crests at this point, or is there
No,
are they some
Sora's is
no,
missing. That's
they-
actually like
Right.
a point.
yeah, they don't have Sora's.
Right.
That's a pretty big part of this episode.
So yeah,
Uh,
like they come out of the other end of this tunnel.
Well, no, they don't.
And
They're in the tunnel for a while because they find all the writing on there, and Koshiro's like, "Oh,
Oh
shit,
yeah, this is where Koshiro explains his
Yeah.
big theory on the
Hacker
digital
man
world.
time.
this is like a huge scene where he's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some hacking, and we're gonna explain a lot of stuff
Yeah,
right now."
because he's
Oh
like,
lord.
because he's like, okay, look, I can just rub out text on this wall, and it like turns the lights on and shows maps and whatever. And then Joe's like, but that doesn't make any sense. How could you like rewrite stuff like it's a computer program? And then Koshiro's well,
Well,
because we're in one.
Yeah,
funny story.
because he had mentioned way back in episode 5 that he believes that everything is made of data. And now he's just like, I was right. Everything is data. In fact, this entire world, the digital world, is a shadow of the real Earth. As you can
Yeah.
see on this 3D projected map I have, like locations line up with locations where they are on Earth. Like these lines are like information networks, and those line up perfectly with where they would be on Earth, which he would know because he's a tech whiz.
Yeah. And he says
love
like,
my
and
little
he's and like,
object
I think he says like, oh, the whole reason, like the whole reason this all clicked together for me is like this email I got is an email address from a website I frequent.
Yeah, he's like, I go there all the time. Like, I recognize this URL. It's like, it's really cool, actually. I like this scene a lot.
Yeah, no, it's like we're trimming it down a lot because we're in a bit of a rush, but like, no,
Yeah.
like sort of like a really cool little bit where
Another-
it's like, oh yeah, we're like, it's like, oh, we're not on, we are still technically on Earth, but not in the
Yeah.
in a
He,
other.
he says that it's like a shadow of the Earth. It like exists in the same spot, but not really. And then he mentions the fact that they are not in their real bodies right now, which is a mistake.
It really is.
Like, or like he's not sure. He's like, oh well, we're data right now. He's
Yeah.
not entirely sure. So like, oh well, then where's our real bodies or whatever? It's like
Like, probably
maybe
back
back
in
in
camp.
the camp. I don't
Yeah.
know. But like upon hearing that we're just data, Taichi's like, oh well, then fucking what? He becomes a lot more reckless.
Yes.
Yeah.
He becomes one of those teenagers from the marijuana commercials where he's like, I'm invincible. And then he shoots himself in the head. And they're like, don't do drugs,
No.
kids.
He would smoke weed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so then it cuts to nighttime, and Sora comes to relieve Taichi and Agumon of their watch.
I was gonna say Agumon was really cute in this bit. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, sleepy time.
I'm tired. And as they're like relieving them of their watch, Sora like very clearly seems a bit down. And Taichi's like, yo, you alright? Like, is everything
It's
cool?
like, yeah, she's like, I'm sorry everyone's going to all this trouble just for my crest. And he's like, doesn't really matter. I mean, if you got your
Mhm.
crest first, would you even be thinking about this?
And she's like,
No, probably
"No."
not.
And he's like, yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
fine. Don't worry about it.
If it was anyone else's
got
crest,
you.
we would still be doing this, so you're fine. So a really nice little scene.
Yeah.
So at this point, they come out on the other end of like this tunnel that's like a warp
they're like,
in
yeah.
dimensions, and it's the mouth of this really hideous looking sphinx.
Oh yeah, it's like,
Mhm.
ah.
Hey,
Just
don't be
take it.
mean.
It's like like to rival those like fountains from the Colosseum.
Yeah, the same vibes as those things.
They're right next to a pyramid, and they see,
Yeah.
oh shit, Adamon's there.
Mm.
Mhm.
And it's just like we need to decide on people who are going to infiltrate the pyramid and people who are going to hang back and protect. I think specifically Takaru, because like he still can't really do much right now, and considering
Yeah,
Edamon's
he's
there,
It's still just
yeah.
Pokemon.
so they're
So,
just like, okay, they're like, it's going to be Sora,
Also-
Joe, and Taichi go to the pyramid. The rest of you
And
stay
Koshiro,
back.
because he's got the laptop.
Right, it's in Koshiro.
Mhm.
And it's like Mimi stays, and surprisingly, also they have Yamato stay as well.
Hmm.
Although it's probably just, I mean, that does also make sense. He's like, no, I'm fucking keeping an eye on my little brother.
Yeah, I doubt he
Yeah.
would want to go at that point. So they get to the pyramid and they're like trying to figure out how to get inside. And at which point Edamon like hears one of them say something and he
It's like,
starts
what
like
the fuck is that?
Yeah, he starts like skulking
He make-
around the side.
He makes like a really good face.
Mhm. He's like, he looks around the side and they're not there. And as he goes to leave, Taichi sticks his hand out from the side of the pyramid and makes a bunch of rude gestures at Edamon. At which point he pulls his hand back in, and Edamon like looks back and he's like, "I feel like someone's fucking with me."
Now I'm mad. Now I'm so mad.
And Sora's
And then
just
they're
like, "Bro, what are you
Stop
doing?"
it." And he's like, whatever, I'm not even real.
Yeah.
And
so they
Sora is starting to get really fucking pissed off at him.
they start going through the hallway, and
yeah.
Koshiro's like,
There's
like I'm gonna
yeah, we've got like a secret hidden tunnel passageway we can get to Nano.
we just gotta find it. At which point Agumon slaps the wall and is just like, ah.
Ow.
His hand
It's like
'cause he thought it was gonna be
he's like
fake.
most of this is still real.
Yeah. Do not
And then
get
there's a
twisted.
bit, where they find another exit for their hidden passageway, and there's some Gazimon, and then Taichi just decides to fuck with them too.
Kicks one in the ass, they start beating up each other, and Sora is again like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I'm not even real. It's fine.
It's fine. It's not like any of this is gonna hurt us. We're not real.
We're not real, it's fine.
He's fucked up.
Yeah, he's like drunk off the power of thinking he's invincible.
He is
Just
unwell.
respawn.
So they get to the center of the pyramid and they find Nanamon's little inverted pyramid glass container he's being
Like
kept in,
cubes.
which is bizarre.
Naughty Digimon get put in the periwiggler to atone for their crimes.
And he's just like, yeah, Edamon like captured me and then trapped me in here, and he's been using me to power his dark network. But
Yeah,
I've been fixing myself up in secret, so help me out, and I'll
we get
you know.
and we get that cool splash screen of Edamon destroying half of Nanamon's face.
Yeah.
So yeah, they find out Koshiro's like, hey, Taichi, lower that lever, and it opens up a thing. And he's like, okay, starts putting in the code. At which point Edamon shows up, and it's just like,
what the hell are you doing?
And he's like, Taichi, raise the lever. So he quickly pushes the lever back up, which causes Nanamon to be freed, and Edamon like starts attacking at this point. And so a couple of them digivolve, and he just starts wiping the floor with these guys.
It's like I guess like
Yeah.
I guess because you've never had like obviously he's like attacked with like his lightning and stuff,
Yeah.
but like this is like the first time he's directly fought. It was like, okay, no, he is actually just that tough. They just
Yeah.
can't beat him yet.
He like grabs, I think, Greymon by the
Greymon,
tail
he
and just
tosses him.
flings him.
He's absurdly strong, despite all of the level fours
like-
being that big.
Yeah.
He's just fucking throwing them around like they're nothing.
It's really cool. The sequence is also animated really well. It's just like him
Yeah.
beating the shit out of them. It's really cool. Nanomon uses his telekinesis to throw all the pieces of glass.
And it,
One
like,
of
it
which
just smashes Bergramon. Like
Yeah.
it's like really violent.
she gets
Mhm.
splattered against the wall. The Gazimon get hit by pieces of glass. Edamon
Jeez.
just swings and shatters the glass with like a punch. It's so sick.
It's like
insane.
it's like we're trying to make him look fierce.
And they're succeeding. He's scary as hell.
Yeah. My note for this is this fight fucks, dude. It's
Yeah.
And
so
then
cool.
and then like and Touch said, "What the fuck are you doing, Nanomon?" And he's like, "Well, you got me out of here. I'm done with. I don't need you guys anymore. I'm out of here."
Yeah,
And then
bye.
everyone's just like, "I can't believe you guys got tricked by this dickhead."
You stupid children. Of course he's an asshole. Anyway, I'm going to beat the living daylights out of him now. And so Nanamon's like, no, you're not. I have hostages. And he grabs Piomon and Sora and is like, later, losers, and like skedaddles out of the room.
Skedaddles, doodle.
It's really good.
And they,
So they all give chase immediately.
Mhm.
And
But
he's
unfortunately, he's gone through the electric fence.
Oh yeah, because earlier he had there was like a fake electric fence
Mhm.
with like a secret passageway, and Taichi just kind of very immediately when someone went, "Yeah, that's the way," and he just went
Walks
there with
through
no
it.
caution.
Yeah. Like he is just not caring about his health.
And he
And
was
he
about
tries
to do
to
it again.
No, he tries to do it again, and Joe
Yeah,
stops
and
him.
then Koshi was like, "Joe, stop him right now!"
Stop this bitch!
It's like, no, Taichi, you don't get it. He literally goes, "If we die in the game, we die in real life."
That was my exact thought. Was if you die in the game, you die for real.
Yeah, I think he says like you probably think you're in a video game, right? And then just like, are we not?
Yeah,
And then immediately Taichi just like, oh god, oh fuck.
Yeah, he immediately goes into panic mode.
Which, no offense to him, but I still want to touch him. I think it would be fun.
No offense to Taichi, but he's a bitch.
Just a little bit. Like, I mean, granted, this is not like a typical electric fence, but like, normal electric fences don't have enough power to kill you.
When you can literally see the electricity running through it.
This one's like...
That's just a cartoon / anime thing. I would be
No,
fine.
it's not.
I would be fine.
I would handle it.
I don't know if you know this, but like, if something is charged with really, really high, is it voltage or ampage that kills?
Voltage.
It's like stuff that's charged with really high voltage stuff. I don't think shows electricity like that unless
You
it's
can
like
also hear it
jumping.
humming.
Well, okay, well, listen, I would survive.
We need to move on, bro.
I need to slander Taichi more. Anyway, he's just like, oh god, I don't know if I can go through this anymore. And then so that gives time for Edamon to catch up. But then like in the meantime, Taichi and Mimi and Yamato clearly realized something was going on, so they jumped in to help.
And that gives Koshiro and Joe enough time to like drag Taichi out of there.
They all fucking run away. And Edamon's like, oh god damn it.
These kids. And at which point Taichi's like on the ground sobbing because he realizes that A, he was being an idiot, B, his indecision caused Sora to get kidnapped, and C, he's a little bitch boy.
And it's like, yeah.
Just he is going through it. And,
Isn't it neat seeing Taichi be a character with like proper flaws and development and shit?
I don't know what you're talking about. There's never been another iteration of animated Taichi.
Yeah, crazy.
As far we haven't gotten there yet, so it doesn't exist to me.
What's this like blurred text on the docket?
I don't know. It just says Digimon Adventure again. I think there's a colon after it, but we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, why are we doing this show again?
Comparison, it's a good sandwich. Anyway,
good episode. Dub time.
Time for the Dub Zone, episode 19. Nanomon of the Labyrinth has been changed to the Prisoner of the Pyramid. Perfectly acceptable title.
I think that's a pretty good name, honestly.
That's a good name.
Nanomon has been changed to Datamon for some reason.
Whatever.
Yeah. His move Plug Bomb, which he just doesn't say in the dub, so it's just unnamed. And Edamon's Dark Spirits has just been changed to Concert Crush again. It's his only move. Everything is Concert Crush.
I don't even think I'm not even sure if this is specifically a dub thing. I think there's like a lot of instances just generally in Digimon where a character will just use the same name for multiple moves.
Yeah. But I mean, at the very least, Edamon has like 3 individual moves. He has Dark Network, Love Serenade, and Dark Spirits that he does use. But in the dub, they're just like, it's all Concert Crush. All of it.
It's all Concert Crush.
Izzy recap, nothing really important, like just a normal recap. When he gets the email at the beginning, Datamon's a British guy and narrates the entire email. I don't know why. He's like, this is an SOS. I'll lead you to the crests if you find them. It's like, if you help me or whatever.
I guess because, he's like a scientist guy. What a scientist sound like.
Okay.
All right, what do you got?
The dub hates Mimi. Just so I can say that to get the counter added. Now, okay. I'm just going to say these 3 lines of dialogue in sequence, and I want you guys to go ahead and react. They're talking about how they're just data. Mimi says, why do I still feel like I have to go to the little girl's room? And Izzy's like, you just think you have to. At which point Mimi responds, oh, well, I hope you're right, cuz, and then she gets cut off.
No!
Okay.
That's just stupid.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out specifically because I think the dub writer should be in jail.
I'm pretty sure that's also just contradictory.
Yes, it is. The URL that Izzy is going to has been changed to garbled gibberish, like more so than it was before. For some reason,
I think like in the original it was just kind of like something that vaguely looked like the name Nanomon.
yeah, but now it's like just it's like a random string of characters and letters. And also the screen is dimmed except for the URL, which has like the pay attention to this highlight, like haloed around it, which is
you have won a free iPod. Click here. Oh yeah, that was like something I thought the email immediately made me think. I was like, "Greetings, I am Prince from Nigeria. I will put $10,000 in your account."
Koshiro's like, "Oh my god, I'm getting free emojis."
You'll get the one that's the little fire sword.
This isn't a Dub Hates Mimi, but when when Izzy is pulling up the Shadow Earth map and it has all the white lines over it to represent the network, she just goes, "It reminds me of the balls of yarn my kitty used to play with." Which I was like,
that's just odd.
It's just
a
like
little silly, but
it's a weird line, yeah. Izzy implies that things they do in the digital world have an effect on the real world.
They kind of hinted at that,
like, but beyond, like beyond their bodies, type of stuff.
Oh,
kind of. I mean, that's kind of true.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like the way he says it
depends. I think it like varies in like the show, because I know in some shows it's like, okay, no, this is directly affecting things. Like that's basically what Atmon's all about.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like the way he words it is kind of odd.
His whole explanation just sounds very poorly translated in general.
Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's real bad. I don't even like. I didn't write down most of it because it was just sliding off me.
How many times does he say the word digi? How many times does he use the word digi in that explanation?
Way too many. Dub Hates Mimi. I think Izzy says bingo, and she goes, "I hate bingo. All those letters and numbers are so confusing."
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. I forgot half of it. She goes, "All those letters and numbers. Hey, look, a door."
No.
ADHD queen. We stand. But yet, like again, just like she's stupid. The whole thing with Tai and Sora, it's not the same. Sora's still upset and concerned about something, but like the conversation is basically, "Hey, are you sad? I mean, kinda. You shouldn't be sad. Why not? Why would you be sad? You're right." It's weird.
There was a reason. There was a very obvious and good reason for her to like be upset, and you just took it out.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. It just kind of changed to nothing. Just weird change. Oh, sorry. I forgot. I actually forgot reading through this. Just like I'm having an exact repeat. So I wrote, "Oh, the whole affects the real worth thing is used to explain why Ty's not actually invincible."
Yeah.
So the only reason he said that earlier in the episode is so they could call back to it to explain, instead of being like but the data's so complex and dense that it might affect our real bodies. We don't know. They just, it's like, no, stuff affects the real world. Don't be an idiot. Okay. And here's where this episode just starts falling apart. When they're infiltrating the pyramid, Tai turns around and he says a line, and it is not Ty's voice. It is another voice. I couldn't place who it was. It is just an entirely different person doing the line read.
What the fuck?
Interesting.
Bizarre. The only thing I can think of is, again, they just forgot to record that line when his VA was in the booth, and they're just like, "Oh shit, we need to have someone fill in," and they just had someone random fill in. I could not tell you who it was. It didn't sound like any of the other cast members specifically. Very, very weird.
Weird.
The sick shot of Enamon busting the glass with his fist is cut, for some reason. They just removed that shot.
Probably just too violent.
That feels like a "don't punch glass, kids."
Yeah,
you're fucking stupid. You're fucking stupid, kids.
And then toward the end of the episode, okay, this is a note. I'm gonna read verbatim because it's all in caps. What the fuck was that? Some random child saying Biomon over here, I'm coming, overlaid on top of the normal audio. What is wrong with this episode?
The fuck?
I need to point out, I'm watching this on Hulu. This is an official, like, on streaming services upload. It is like a literal child, like a 6-year-old girl saying, Biomon over here, I'm coming.
No, there's what the fuck? Hold, it's on Hulu, right?
Yes, it's
what
on
episode
Hulu.
was that?
Episode 19.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
Like, yeah,
Yo.
like bizarre. I went back and watched it twice because I was like, I'm sorry, what the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
Like straight up weird. I might open up the episode on my end in the background and just play it because I don't think that'll get copyright struck.
You could just like super cut it in afterwards.
You're right. Yeah, just screen record and super cut it in.
Biomon over here!
Matt.
I'm
Huh?
coming!
Well, so much for no fighting.
Yeah, bizarre. Really, really weird. This episode was just like falling apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it for the dub, which means we can move on
To the
movie.
special part of
Yes.
this episode of this session, because we're
We're-
not doing 5 episodes today.
No.
Instead, we're doing the
Or the
little
movie.
Yes.
the little movie that serves as a prequel to the show by
A day.
a well-known name and well-known. You might, if you're familiar with anime, you might know this guy's name. Mamoru Hosoda.
Yes. He's
The goat.
a very prolific director.
He
I'm pretty-
did
Yeah.
for Digimon. He also directed our war game. You know, the cool bit with if you've seen Digimon the movie, it's the cool bit with Omnimon that people usually point out when they think of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He directed Summer Wars.
Yep.
Which is our war game again.
Pretty much.
Funny
He did
enough.
family
The Girl Who
drama.
Left the
Yeah.
Girl Who Left the Time.
He's done a ton of very, very
He's a-
famous.
You've
Animated
probably
films.
at least heard of one thing he's done.
Yes,
It's
100%.
kind of a big deal.
He is like my favorite anime director of all time. So I'm a
But
big fan.
he's had a few run-ins with Digimon.
Yes.
Back in dating back this fervor where he directed this movie and funny enough, I think 1 or 2 episodes of the show.
Yes, he
That's
directed
the one, I
episode
believe.
21 specifically.
So we were
It's the best
intending
one.
Yes.
to tie this in, like just lead this movie into that episode, but we got the episodes wrong.
We
Yeah.
we got the number wrong. We thought it was 16.
And by we,
Yeah.
are we gonna blame Angel on this one?
Yeah, it's entirely
Well,
Angel's
you're
fault.
doing it right now, so
Rip. Okay.
Angel's the one that said it, and none of us thought to fact check.
That's on me. My bad.
It's fine.
How
So yeah,
could you have done this to us, Angel?
yeah, it's specifically all your fault, but it's fine. So yeah, this was an OVA, a 20-minute OVA released in theaters the day before the show started. So we decided to watch it now because oops. But we're gonna talk about it anyway because it's really, really good.
yeah, it's only 20 minutes, but like just
Mhm.
genuinely just perfect little 20 minutes.
Yes. So
Little
again,
backstory to this. Then they were like trying to talk about when Mamoru Hosoda and the rest of the crew on Digimon were trying to figure out what the fuck are we going to make this OVA about. Mamoru Hosoda went, I want to make a kaiju movie, and they said, you cannot do that in 20 minutes. And he said,
It's
"Bad."
like fucking bad. You fucking did.
watch me.
It is even from the start. It has such like kaiju movie vibes.
Yeah.
Like the first shot is of Greymon like
Mhm.
screeching while like throwing his head back and forth. It's God. This movie is so pretty and it's so good.
Genuinely, if you have 20 minutes of time at any point, go watch that movie. It's fucking fantastic.
Yes, it's
It's good.
wonderful.
Yes.
The animation is awesome.
Yeah, no,
the
it's
colors.
like okay, okay, we've made fun of this show, but it's like it's a like a relative, it's a mid to low budget like kids show.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
airing weekly, so I don't expect it to look amazing, but like, good
This
lord,
shit,
this
man.
looks like so above and beyond what you'd expect for this series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just like it's just a 20-minute special, dude. You don't need to go this far. And they're just like, no, it's gotta
He's
look
gotta.
amazing. So yeah,
This
it
will
starts.
also reflect in episode 21, by the way.
Yes.
Mamoru
yes.
Hosoda is just insane.
So like it starts off immediately with the kaiju fight. Like it's the shot of Greymon fighting
Like, in
Parrotmon.
in media res thing.
Yeah, yeah.
In media res, yeah.
And then but yeah, so it's just them like clashing with each other for like a couple seconds, and then it hard cuts back to babies. Little
Mhm.
babies. Baby Tai, baby
the
Tai
way
Chi.
the way they're drawn as babies, they're so fucking oompy. They're
Yeah.
like egg
Yes.
shaped.
Genuinely,
I love the way
they're
baby Tai
so
Chi and Hikari
tiny.
look like. They're so good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Baby Curry specifically looks hilarious.
Yes. Baby Hikari is like adorable. Like
Mhm.
the
Yeah, so,
most
like-
oomphy ever.
Your Honor,
Like
she's baby.
it cuts but like it just shows like random shots. I think of like electronics just all messing up,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and like Tai Chi's just, but as it cuts back to Tai Chi's just getting up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, until he sees like a door open
Mhm.
with like a bunch of
Mhm.
lights flashing, and he checks and he sees like Hikari just staring at the computer.
She has been corrupted by the technology.
Amado.
She's too
Yeah.
online. We need to take her out.
And then shout
just
outs
like,
to
egg.
Cheese.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Cheese.
Cheese.
I
Shout
have
out to
that-
Cheese.
I have that written down in my notes.
So do
Egg.
I. Shout out to Cheese. An egg, a 3D egg
Mhm.
begins.
He's coming out of the screen.
Yeah, it like it's like it's pushing through like a
Yeah.
film. It's really cool looking.
I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, this gets used like not like all the time, but it gets used a fair bit in Digimon, and I love whenever they do it.
Yeah, it's just
Mhm.
really sick looking.
Mhm.
And
I'm
then
just a big
it
fan of whenever Digimon uses 3D in general.
mhm.
Hey guys!
Yeah.
But
Shout out!
Shout out to
to
Cheese.
we already did that.
We did it already.
I'm doing it again.
It's fine. We'll get
Shout
another
outs
one
to the
later.
shout outs.
Shout out to
we,
Cheese.
we gotta do it every
Anyway.
time there's an egg in a new scene. You know?
You're right. So we hard cut to after seeing the egg, it hard cuts to Taichi popping an egg onto a frying pan.
Mhm.
Oh no,
Which
wait,
is-
no, not quite, not quite.
Oh yeah, no, they wake back. He wakes up.
Yeah, no. So yeah, he's waking up first, and he's like
Oh,
climbing
sorry,
out of
yes.
bed, and they do like a cute little bit because like when he gets out of bed at night to pee, he like almost trips climbing down the steps, and then he
Mhm.
does the same thing again in the
Yes.
morning, and he's
Yes.
like he's going to tell his mom about the egg because obviously of course you would, but his mom's like, oh, I'm in a rush, I gotta go to work,
Yep,
and he's like,
gotta go to
Mom,
work,
wait, what about the egg?
Then he comes back into the room and Hikari's like snuggling with the egg.
Yeah.
And then it
he's
does
like,
the
"Alright,"
shot.
and
It
then
does the shot of
and
her
he-
snuggling with the egg, and then it hard cuts to him dropping an egg into a frying pan.
Yeah.
His
Which
ass
is-
should not be cooking eggs, by the way. He's like on top of. He's like
Yeah,
fucking peeking over a chair that he had to climb on top of,
Taichi's
and
like
he's cooking with oil.
he's
and it's
like 4
bro.
here, right? Like he's
Yeah.
really young.
He's a baby.
I mean-
Japanese kids are built different.
I think like we know why. Like we learn later why he's able to cook,
Mhm.
but well, because we know his mom is constantly rushing out, so she doesn't have time, and then we
Yeah.
find out why his dad doesn't do the cooking later in the later in the
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
So Hikari's just like in her little baby
yeah,
booster seat,
She,
making
like,
her little
she,
whistling
barely
noises.
Speaks. She just like
Yeah.
constantly blows on her whistle, and he's
Mhm.
just like, "What are we gonna do with this thing? I don't know. Maybe I'll cook it." And she's like, "No."
No, no,
Mhm.
no. Just making distressed whistling noises. Then she goes to reach for her sippy cup, and the egg falls out of her lap, just hard onto the floor, and it starts
she's like,
Chef
"Oh, God."
Boy. It starts Chef Boyardeeing away around the
And she's like,
apartment.
"Oh God, where'd I?" She's like, "Oh God, I dropped my egg," and then she realizes it's rolling around and starts chasing it.
Faces it back into their room, where it like spins and then stands up perfectly straight.
Mhm.
And Taichi
And
like
he-
runs
and
in, and he's like, "Oh."
What the hell are you doing? Oh,
This
yeah,
this is normal, by the way. All eggs
Yeah.
do this.
yeah.
True.
And then it starts hatching, and like it
Mhm.
It's Pokemon.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
cute little black oomphy inside the egg.
And then it launches at Taichi like a
Attack.
face hugger.
Taichi immediately like rips it off his face, and it scampers like underneath the bed,
Mhm.
and like Hikari's like looking under there, and Taichi comes in there, and he's like, "All right, I got this," and he
And he just
throws his
lobs his
goggles.
goggles at it. And it
Like-
hits him with bubbles. Like the only time bubbles will be effective.
He it hits him hard. He like rolls back out of the bed on to the like opposite wall. And then Hikari starts doing a little call and
whistle.
repeat with the whistle, yeah. where she does
And
like,
and Botamon
Tax
likes it, so
bubbles.
because he starts
Yeah.
blowing bubbles in response, and then they like, oh, okay, I guess it's fine.
yeah. He starts suggesting names for the little baby, things like Bota Bota, and then the last one he says is Black Devil. It's so funny.
I'm like, was Mega Man X5 already out? I think it was.
So he like tries to call his mom,
Yeah,
and
Well,
the phone is fucked up.
yeah, it's fucking. It's like you see, like, because you get like a good look at like electronic like faces,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and like you see like all the numbers messing up. And, like, oh yeah, while he's doing that, Ikari's already like just stuffing Botamon's face with food.
Yeah, chocolate at first, and then she steals their cat's food bowl and gives it to Bota.
Oh, not quite, not yet, not yet.
Oh wait, no, that's after. That's after. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's just the
And
chocolate at first.
yeah, and so he tries to call his mom, but he can't get through to her, so he comes back through, and like, it's suddenly Koromon.
Yeah, it has become Koromon, and he's just like, "Oh god, it changed. What the hell's happening?" And then Hikari is just like, "All right,
All right, we need to get you more food. So
Yeah.
she just steals the cat's bowl. And Taichi's like, are you sure we can eat that?
And Koromon just starts chowing down. He doesn't care. He's going at it.
It's
Loves
yummy.
that shit. Yeah.
then the cat comes in
Oh, the cat is so mad.
It's
So mad.
and starts attacking Koromon.
You know, fair.
Mhm.
Eating their food.
Also, a thing we forgot to mention is Taichi goes, "Is that thing a dog?" When he's looking at.
No, it's a dinosaur, you idiot.
Yeah.
Come on, Taichi, get it together.
It's a weird looking horse.
Koromon loses to a cat. Pretty
And so
handily.
even Taichi's like, I can't believe you lost the cat.
How does he scale?
and,
How
then
does he scale
things,
to Agumon?
and then things finally settle down for a bit, and then all of a sudden Koromon starts talking.
Yeah.
It's Koromon.
I'm
And
Koromon.
Ikari's like, he's Koromon. It's like, what kind of name is that? It's like, why'd you name him that? It's like, I didn't name him. That's his name.
And
And he's
Taichi's
like,
like,
thank.
it can talk. And he falls to his knees in despair upon realizing this thing can talk.
And it's like, it's like the sign of friendship. And then he does the face hug thing again.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like a little really cute little bit where like Taichi's like he's like in shock, but he still tries to pull him off, but
Yeah.
he's so slow in reaction that Koromon just pulls himself off.
He's like very slowly raising his hands to like attempt to pry himself free. So and then Koromon poops on the floor.
He's like,
Yeah.
he pooped again.
Oh.
Poop joke 2.
Because there's a bit where he does it earlier, and then he
Yeah.
just looked him up and he's like, did it again.
He pooped. It then
And then it
cuts,
cuts
to
to, like,
late
night,
at
where
night.
there's, like,
Yeah.
There's like tons of like it just shows like tons of like electrical
Yeah.
interference and stuff.
Like at this point, I think like lights and rooms on like skyscrapers are starting to get messed up, and
Yeah,
like,
so
just
like Taichi's
everything.
like, what the
is
hell's
getting
going
weird.
on? And then he comes back to his room and sees that Koromon is like freaking out.
Yeah.
Koromon has rabies now.
Yeah, he's got like the blue on the bridge of your nose. I'm very sick right now. Anime face.
Yeah. And like right around then his mom starts his mom and his dad come back and
No, his dad gets home.
his
Because
dad's
his-
like come drunk off his ass.
Yeah.
Wasted.
he's like a very happy drunk. He's like, I gotta kiss my kids
Yeah.
goodnight.
and their mom is just like, you really shouldn't. Like, why are you?
It's like, dude, it's like they're sleeping, you fucking dickhead. Can you quiet down?
I had to pause for a second to look up whether or not Taichi's dad was in later stuff, because I was just like, do they get divorced? I was just like, but no, he's
don't
around
know.
later. No, he is around later. He is a
I was about to
character.
say, I don't. It didn't come off like marriage problems. It's just like, oh, he's fucking drunk again.
I think it's just like, Japanese like work
Yeah,
system
the
is
work
not
culture,
good.
Yeah, it's like because he wasn't being like a rude, like
Yeah, he's like,
horrible or
I think-
anything. He was literally just, I want to give my kids a kiss.
I think like the mom's initial, like when he comes in, her thing is just like, are you drunk again? And I was like, oh,
It's like, oh, for
no,
God's
it's-
sake.
yeah,
I mean,
but then
granted, it's also just they probably wouldn't have made it much of a big deal of Yamato.
true.
if
You know
Taichi
what?
was
Solid,
like,
Yeah.
solid point.
So
But
like they're distracted, but all of a sudden Koromon just starts getting really big.
really
Yeah.
fast. He expands to like
He-
the size of their bunk beds as Agumon.
Yeah,
He's
for some reason,
huge.
Agumon is just really big in this movie.
And like their parents start like hearing stuff going on in the room, and they start trying to like come in, and Taiji's like, no, and it's like
No,
holding the door
fine.
shut.
And then Agumon just starts to go for the window, and Nikai like opens it up for him.
Yeah, she's like,
But
yeah,
that doesn't matter because he's too big and just smashes through the whole fucking balcony anyway.
Yeah, and then Hikari
And then he
climbs
just-
onto his back,
And then he just jumps away.
and Taiji's
And
like,
then you can
oh
s-
my god.
Oh god. And then he just fucking sprints out the door, and his mom's just like, Taichi, where the fuck are you going?
And then we get an extended sequence. I forgot in my notes. I wrote Oompi's Day Out. We get like an extended sequence of big Agumon and little itty bitty baby Hikari like on his back.
I
Just
love
like-
Hikari's little like onesie because like I
Yeah.
think when like he jumps down, it knocks like it brings like the hood up.
And
Yeah,
she has
she's
like
like
little,
it's a little
I
koala
think.
hoodie.
yeah,
Yeah.
little ears on it. And like it's all just like it's mostly it's just entirely without dialogue. She's just got her like
they're
little
just
whistle
wandering
noises.
cities. Like all
Yeah.
these really good shots.
Just like
And
seeing this
just kind of walking around for a while.
yeah, seeing this dinosaur and his little baby in like cool little urban environments. He obliterates a vending machine, and Hikari's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we can
And
grab some of these," and she's like,
Hikari just starts to try to grab
Yeah.
a bunch, but she's tiny, so she can't hold any.
"It's great."
And
It's
then
like-
Agumon just trails off again, and she's like, "Oh god, wait for me."
drops them all because she can't run while she's holding them.
Then he almost gets hit by a car,
Yeah, they start wandering out of the road,
and,
and
the,
then he has to
and the
like,
really whimsical
leap
music
out of the
just
way of a car.
stops.
And so in retaliation, he starts just fucking unloading.
Mhm.
And when
He-
Agumon does baby flame in this, it's like the firing of like a mortar cannon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he, like-
really violent.
There's like the charge up in the back of the throat, and then like he fires, and his whole
his head,
head like
like-
recoils.
Yeah,
It's really good.
good.
He blows up a fucking a payphone that's on the corner because he's shooting at the truck that almost hit him, but he
Mhm.
misses and it hits the payphone. And then like he turns around and there's a bus. And
It's just
Hikari like is
bus.
immediately like no, because he starts charging up again. But then like a
It's just like- and,
helicopter
like-
goes by, and he like
and he's like,
turns and
"Oh."
does like a rapid fire 3 times into the air.
Which which helps Taichi finally figure out where they are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
'Cause I
And she
think
just,
he
like-
hits a
and-
building, doesn't he? And like blows
I
up a
think
room.
I don't think he blows anything up. I think he just hits the balcony.
Yeah. Which
And, like-
thankfully
and,
no
like,
one is on.
Hikari's starting to get like, and Hikari's starting to get like really scared.
Yeah.
For good reason.
Like the music, like
Yeah.
the really, there's been really whimsical music the entire movie, and it is just dead silent now.
Mhm.
It's really, really good.
And at this
And at
point,
that point,
we get Omega shout outs to Cheese.
the giant egg.
Just like forms in the sky, and like you can see like the clouds are like curling around it as it descends from the heavens. And then it pops like an Easter egg. Like it just splits perfectly, pops open, and there's just a little bitty shadow inside it, which is actually a
Oh, yeah.
gigantic size of a building, Parrotmon.
Oh yeah. Also for like this entire movie, they've really like using that. I forget the name of the song, but it's like a well known. It's like a really famous piece of classical music.
Yeah, the da 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 da. Yeah, it's they use that
Sorry,
in War
I'm-
Game too, I think, right?
I think I haven't. It's
No,
been
it's
ages since I've
it's
seen
in
the
the show,
subbed
isn't
version.
it too?
Because I know it's in other Digimon media, because I recognized it immediately. I was like, oh, this is yeah. Spoilers. This is my first time watching this subbed, by the way. But yeah, so like it's just this really cool track they've been doing this whole time, and when the egg happens, like it happens again. Like they start playing this track, and Parrotmon like drops to the street, and at this point, people are taking notice because there was the gigantic egg falling from the sky, and all the electronics are getting fucked up. And we get like some shots of other Digidestined as children.
Yeah, you get like little previews of like I think like Joe and Mimi and Kosher like
Yeah,
immediately.
Joe's like calling the police.
yeah, Joe's calling the
for it.
police.
It's like yeah, there's a giant bird and a bit lizard and then
Mhm.
Taichi finally finds Hikari and she's like, all right, we gotta get out of here. I said, no, but Koromon.
And then Agumon turns to Parrotmon and like does one pepper breath, or sorry, pepper breath, baby flame, I guess, baby flame, and hits it in the face, and it just like glances off, and Parrotmon doesn't feel it. So Paramon like gets low, and you start hearing hearing like the electric humming as like the like sparks start shooting between its like head feathers.
Yeah, and
And
then he
like it's
blasts.
yeah, because like it's this really cool build up because like it's just a couple reaction shots and everyone's being really silent, and then it's total silence, and you see the lightning go off, and then the explosion happens, and it's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, and then it's like it doesn't hit Agumon, but it hits like the bridge beneath him, and he
Yeah.
just gets completely crushed.
So yeah, like he like you see like him get hit by a block and like falls on top of Taichi and Hikari.
And like I do like how like they like it's like, oh god, are they dead? And like they do like this really good bit of foreshadowing because like, okay, there's a bunch more reaction shots of the other children again,
Mhm.
and it cuts back to Joe who's still on the phone, and he's like, yeah, send like yeah, they just blew up a bridge, and hello, like his phone cuts out. It's like, oh, something else is happening.
Yeah. Because yeah, there's another phenomenon happening, and it cuts back, and as the smoke starts clearing, Greymon is here, and he's fucking enormous.
Like they really like play up like the dinosaur features of Greymon in
Yes.
this movie.
He looks
Yeah.
much more like a T-Rex than he does
Monstrous, yeah.
Greymon normally. It looks I really like this Greymon design. It's really cool.
Red Greymon's really cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so good, and like the eye like pops open, and then he gets up and like just charges at Paramon. And this is like at this point we start getting like it. This is where like the in media res happen. Like we're cut back to present where they're fighting, and holy shit, this is brutal. Like
Oh wait, no,
whoa.
before that, anything else? He immediately shoots off like a mega flame and
That's right.
just rips one of Paramon's wings off.
Yeah, I forgot. Like
Yeah, no, there's
And
there's,
then-
like
and then he-
feathers flying everywhere.
Yeah, and then he comes
in.
in charging, and he's like they're just like throwing each other around. And there's a bit where like Greymon gives him like a headbutt, and obviously
Yeah.
Greymon's got a bunch of horns, so he stabs Paramon right through like his lower beak.
yes, it
Like, he just
it rips it apart.
crushes it.
It's like insanely
so
brutal.
It's like, yeah, I don't, maybe it's been ages since I've seen it dubbed, but surely they cut that out of the dub because that is brutal.
We'll get there.
Mhm.
But yeah, so like it's a fairly even fight at first. Because you know, like Paramon's wing is gone, Greymon whips through its lower jaw, and then like Paramon like manages to grab both his hands and force him to the ground. And then I think he throws him, right? Like Paramon manages to throw Greymon back toward the
Yeah,
bridge.
and then he gets him with another lightning attack.
Just yeah, hits him with another lightning attack, and at that point, like the smoke starts clearing. Paramon's still there and like walking toward them, and Greymon's out cold.
And like,
Hikari's like sobbing and like trying to blow her whistle, and she's trying so hard she's like
and
coughing.
Taichi's just in
Mhm.
disbelief.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
come on, get up. But then like he sees Hikari trying to blow her whistle, and she just can't because she's so fucking exhausted.
Like she's coughing,
And then,
hacking
so-
up, and
And Taichi just grabs it off her and just gives it the biggest toot you've ever heard.
mhm.
And everyone's like, and then all the kids watching are just like, what the hell's he doing?
Is that a whistle? Like, what's he doing? And like it slowly fades, and like nothing happens for a good couple of seconds, and then Greymon's eyes pop back open.
Yeah, in the shot of that is so fucking
It's
good.
so good. And he gets up and just starts beating the shit out of Paramon.
And then he just blasts him.
Yeah, point blank mega flame that like evaporates Paramon.
And him too.
Yeah. And like, yeah, the screen whites out and like they're just gone. And Hikari is like sobbing, crying, like, where's Koromon? And Taichi is again just like in disbelief as to what the hell just happened. And then we get the pure vocal version of Butterfly as the
Yo.
credits kick in.
Holy-
Fucking
Which
good.
it just makes me cry every
Just
time I
perfect.
hear it.
The visual for
chills.
the credits are so good because it's literally just like regular Taichi just hugging Greymon.
Yeah, he's like
Mhm.
doing he's like hugging him around his little snout, and he's got his like head pressed against it. The credits start playing as the butterfly's playing. It's so unbelievably good.
When it is just simply the greatest song of all time.
Yeah, no, the butterfly is just it's number one all
Mhm.
time. Best song ever
Mhm.
made. It's the one that there's a version of Butterfly and Try that's the one good thing Try gave us.
The cast version is also really, really
The
good.
cast version makes me start sobbing uncontrollably every time I hear it. Okay, but unfortunately, we can't end
All
on a
good
high note.
things. All good things must come to an end.
Welcome to a very special episode of the Dub Zone. Now, this special was never released by itself as a dub. Not yet, anyway. I believe it will be released by itself as a dub
Yes.
at some point in the near future because Discotech is doing it because they're based as hell.
Mhm.
Instead, this special, our war game, and the first O2 movie, Hurricane Touchdown, were combined into a horrible Frankenstein creature that we will be
why not?
watching. We'll talk about
Eventually.
that when we're done, but we will be watching that. The original version was 20 minutes long. This version is 15 minutes long.
What?
Yeah.
The dub is 15 minutes long. At the very least, they kept that classical song in the beginning. They kept that at the very least. However, and again, because this was part of a Frankenstein movie that was released after Original Adventure and O2 had already been broadcast, Kari, which is her dub name, is narrating over the whole thing as if it's like looking back at something that already happened.
Oh,
really
Because it's like,
weird.
because it's like loosely connect, because they like badly try to connect this and our war game to 0-2.
Yeah, it's really, really rough. So
we won't get into just how fucking funny their attempts to do this are until we cover our war
Yes.
game and Hurricane Touchdown.
So Kari says, but she says something about not having a vacation in the digital world. Like a little giggle. As she talks about coming to the digital world. Third note, oh my god, Kari narrates this whole fucking thing. I'm going to kill someone. Kari mentions Willis because this is a horrible Frankenstein movie. When the egg is coming out
of all of this.
when the egg is coming out of the computer, she says, and I quote, "This was happening around the same time Willis was getting his digi-egg."
You know, it's really funny because like Willis is a character from the 0-2 movie. He has literally never been mentioned by anyone up until now.
Ty suggests using the egg as a soccer ball. He says, "We'll tell them our chicken coop is on a nuclear waste dump," when referring to the size of the egg. I am genuinely surprised they even kept Kari's whistle. I guess they couldn't animate around it, so they just had to deal with it, because she talks plenty more in this than she does in the normal sub. During the call and response section with Bodemon and Hikari, they changed it to her doing the fucking English Digimon intro.
Yeah, she starts whistling the dub opening.
So it's like burr, 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 and then the Bodemon responds, and she's like da, 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 and the Bodemon responds. But they didn't change the animation, so it's still just spewing
it
out.
Looks real. I remember
Yeah.
even back then. I remember it looks really weird, and then she just starts laughing.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. The name discussion where like Taichi was going through a bunch of names. Tai is just like, well, it's not sleeping in my bed. Where are we gonna keep it? Because the discussion doesn't make any sense in English. Because all the names he's suggesting are like he suggests Boda, which is what it's actually called. And so when they get the call on the house, when Tai picks up, it's Sora. And
What?
she's complaining to him about throwing up in her hat,
What?
What?
which is a connection to our war game that doesn't make any fucking sense because they're like 4 right now. And that
Yeah,
movie
so
takes place
he
when
w-
they're 12.
So he waited 8 years to send it.
To send
I
her
forgot about
the hair
that part.
clip. Yeah. Because
Good
part
lord.
part of the whole thing with our war games, he sends her a gift because of throwing up in her hat, and like because this call happens now, it happened 8. It's so bad. They're terrible. I'm so excited to watch the dub movie with you. You guys have no idea how bad it really is.
No. No.
Knowing you guys haven't seen the Digimon the movie is the literal embodiment of the image. If only you knew how bad things really are. This is so because this is part of Digimon the movie, they sure have a soundtrack for it. I don't know if you guys know about the Digimon the movie soundtrack, but there's a couple licensed songs and a couple of original songs in there. During the Koromon and cat chase
The
sequence,
bit where the cat fights Koromon.
Momo, do you remember what song is playing?
It's I'm sorry if this is the wrong name of the song. It's Funk Soul Brother, isn't it?
It is in fact
No
Funk
fucking
Soul
way.
Brother.
No fucking way.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Oh my god. My note is fucking Funk Soul Brother starts playing. I fucking forgot.
It gives that scene like some real manic energy. Like because
Yeah.
because it's got the typical because it starts playing that song, which is a very
Yeah.
high energy song, and it's a very high energy scene of Koromon and this cat just running all over the place. And then you've got the added dubism of no one ever shuts up.
Yes,
So
there's
it's
just like
sensory overload.
there's talking, there's Funk Soul Brother. They cut half the cat chase sequence out anyway. It just hard cuts to
Yeah,
them having the
I was
scratches.
about to say I don't remember most of this.
Yeah, no, they just hard cut to them having the scratches after like a 2 lines of Funk Soul Brother because they're like, we can't use too much of it. That's expensive. This is the origin of the Ty's mom is a bad cook bit. She starts talking about making liver sticks for dinner,
Okay.
What?
which is referenced multiple times throughout the dub. Yeah, there's this whole bit where Ty's mom is a really bad cook, which is I think she is actually in the dub also a really bad cook because there is that bit in our war game where she burns a cake, which isn't a dubism. She actually does just burn a cake.
Yeah, but they like
they turn it up to
it's-
11.
Yeah, it's like way more. It's like a way more recurring bit in the dub, and like it's like not just she's a bad cook. It's she's like a weird cook.
Yeah, she's a freak who makes weird stuff.
Mhm.
But that's why I was like, I think this actually makes sense as to why Taiji knows how to cook because his mom's a bad cook, so he probably just has to make stuff for himself. Koromon explains a Digimon and like what a Digimon is and what the digital world is because this was dubbed after
Okay.
the series, so
Sure, why not?
they just added this bit in. So I forget if this is true. Kari has a narration where she says, and I quote, "This Koromon isn't the one we became friends with later on," which I think is literally just lying because I think it is, right?
I admittedly I
don't
don't
remember.
remember, but they're like very coy about it. So I'm going like in the have
I
we
think
met
it could go either
before?
way. Because like
I don't know if they ever outright say it, but it feels like they often like to imply that it is.
Yeah.
I be- like
Or at the
I
very least,
believe
that the Agumon Tai meets in the show is the reborn Agumon.
Yeah.
yeah. Because like I remember Sora in the sub when they during the episode that they meet back up, she goes, "Oh, did you meet up with Agumon?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, but she doesn't say that's the same Agumon
Yeah.
explicitly. So I
It's-
think it could be either way.
Yeah. I think the dub is just stupid. Didn't catch any of that. So.
Yeah.
It's also like it's like that's his partner, so it'd be weird if it wasn't the same one.
Yeah, like they're supposed to
Yeah.
be destined partners. It's like the whole fucking thing.
Hmm.
They cut Ty's dad coming back drunk. This is not in the dub.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't think
reasonable.
he's even in it.
No, he's not at all. Kyrie does not stop talking during Umfi's day out. She is talking there is no atmosphere. There is none of it. It's all gone because she's constantly like, "Oh, I think we usually pay for those, but sure, I'll." And she's talking in her normal voice when she's like 8. They're just I think we usually pay for them.
She doesn't do like a baby voice.
No,
She's still
it's like-
just doing regular Kari
She's
voice.
like, "Oh, I'll grab some drinks, one for you and one for me. Hey, wait, where are you going? Wait, no, please don't kill those people." Like non-stop talking. It is
if you're
unreal.
not familiar with what she sounds like, if you've played Cage 3 and you've heard Chirithy, it's that. It's the same voice.
Same voice.
So I've done a little bit of research on is the Koromon the same Koromon?
Yes.
Initially, it was like they're not the same Koromon, and then of course Tri comes in and is like, "We're gonna retcon that."
I mean, that I don't mind because it's like that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense because they're supposed to be, the whole destiny, like this partner is, yeah.
I mean, it could have just been like this Koromon just like became an egg again.
Well,
that's what I always assumed was the intent because like that's
Yeah.
why else would you have him like
I just
die
didn't
at the end.
remember.
Mm-hmm. Unless
Yes, we'll see.
unless Try is saying it was never dead to begin with, but whatever.
Hmm.
When Agumon almost gets hit by a truck, There's dialogue where the guy was like, "Are you watching the road? No, I was sleeping, but you're driving."
I do like they do find that one really funny.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I was sleeping.
I just remembered. Oh, watching the dub's gonna be fun.
They sound like they sound like those two like bumbling guys from Rugrats.
Yeah, no, he literally like he's like, "But you're driving." Like it's that exact inflection and everything. Agumon says pepper breath in the fucking dub, which made me want to die.
We didn't mention this, but like when the moment he reaches Agumon, he just stops talking.
Yeah,
he just
completely
growls.
stops talking. He is just a monster at that point. Like through and through.
Like he doesn't even like roar all that much, even when he's Greymon.
No.
Like he's probably like
He's pretty
you can almost say
quiet.
he's more quiet as Greymon than he is as Agumon.
Yeah, the only sounds out of Agumon is like the charge up of the flame. When they're cutting to the kids fucking calling stuff, Joe is calling Mimi. What? They, in the dub, they really want you to think all of these kids have known each other since they were children. Like young kids.
Real. That's so fucked up.
It's stupid. It's so stupid. At one point, Tai says, "Whoa, probably want a cracker, a really big cracker."
Really big crack.
Can't believe you remember that.
Yeah, you have no idea how many times I've seen this movie.
Yeah, true. I remembered some of these fucking lines. Paramon goes like, "My turn, Sonic Destroyer," and then shoots the lightning at him. Then Joe's calling Izzy instead of the police.
Oh, kill me now.
You hear about this shit?
And then when Greymon wakes up, because they're still calling him Koromon, he says, "I'm Greymon now," and then he gets up.
And then Tai's just like,
It's so stupid, dude.
This dub isn't real.
So my next note, all I wrote was this fucking. That's right. They start playing the fucking dub theme. They start playing the theme over the fight.
Digital Busters, Digimon.
I wrote the fucking theme. I'm crying. This sucks. All the brutal fights, all the brutal parts of the fight are cut out. That's why this movie is 5 minutes cut from it. Because basically the whole fight is just cut. It's basically just them doing the struggle, him getting thrown, and then the shocker again.
I guess because they really didn't want to. They really did not want that part where he just smashes his beak.
Yeah, no, they didn't. My next note. The god-awful music being over everything in this makes it suck, so I'm going digital. Completely digital. That song cut in as I was typing out the note. These fucking original songs, I'm gonna scream.
Oh yeah, also you didn't say Paramon also just didn't say a word in the Japanese version, so now he speaks.
Yeah, he speaks as well. And then this is the greatest sin of all. The vocal butterfly is replaced by an original piece of music that's this really upbeat acoustic guitar thing where they're like, hey Digimon, monster friends to the boys and girls.
Oh.
Champions of the digital world.
Oh.
I mean, they also just don't have, the credit sequence of Greymon because it just jumps right into the our war game bit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
it's a Frankenstein movie.
They badly stitched 3 movies into 1 movie.
It's upsetting.
And then my final note.
You will be amazed.
You guys are gonna die.
The only thing I know about the dub of our war game is the one scene in the convenience store.
Yeah, your total comes to 3,076. Huh? Must be some really good chocolate. Do you want paper or plastic?
Because she counts all does she still count all the zeros in the dub? Or the digits?
It might be something else. I don't know. It's been a long time.
In the original sub, yeah, she's like she like is looking at the thing and they both are just like, whoa, that's not right. But yeah, in the dub they turned into this whole thing. My final note is fuck this fucking dub. I will find Saban himself and redact it. I was so mad watching this. I watched these back to back because I knew it was going to upset me this much, so I wanted to get it out of the way. Holy shit, dude.
Anyway, fantastic movie.
Yes, wonderful movie. Cannot wait for in approximately a year when we do our, and this is good, this is our wonderful announcement, our live stream riff track of Digimon the movie, because Leon and Angel have not seen it. So that's going to be really fun.
I've heard the story.
So yeah, well, we're going to be setting it up to where we're going to be watching it on a live stream. Like, it'll probably just be on my channel because
I mean, we ought to just do like a disc like event thing.
I
don't know. Twitch let us.
Yeah, they will. Watch alongs are totally fine. So what we actually do is, like, we just have there's noise from the stream, like the actual movie isn't coming through on the stream. It's just our voices talking, and we just have people watch it on their own end, synced up to where we are.
It's just like, okay, we're starting now, and maybe we just leave a time up on the stream.
It's like literally just here's a time code and here's the current time. So like if people come in late and they want to sync it up, and then we just have us talking. The only audio on the stream is us talking. I've been a part, or I haven't been a part of, but I participated in a couple of them where people just do watch-alongs like this. Yeah, so that's going to be happening. So the plan right now is we do Adventure, and then we do Adventure 02, and then we do our War Game and Hurricane Touchdown, and then we do the movie Rift Track live stream, and then we do Try.
And then we're just gonna go, since we've covered everything, and it'd be nice to maybe space out the bad Digimon content.
Yeah. So we do Try, and then we'll do Kizuna, and then we'll move into Tamers from there. So we just get all of the good and bad.
Well, by the time that we do Kizuna, will the O2 movie be out?
Probably, almost definitely.
Actually,
yeah. It'll be in like a year.
Well, that depends. I guess it just depends on how easy.
Yeah,
it is.
We'll see. I mean,
we can try to do a blind watch of it.
It'll definitely be available before we're done. So yeah, this will all be happening in roughly a year if my mental math is correct for the schedule. Yeah. This is permitting we like miss a week or something. But also Try is going to be weekly instead of bi-weekly because fuck doing those for 6 sessions. That'd be 3 entire months. That's not happening. So instead of just going to be a month and a half, because we're going to do one of the Try movies per week. So yeah. However, in the more immediate future, next session is going to be episodes 20 through episodes 24 of the original Digimon Adventure. From here until the end of Adventure, it's just going to be 5 episode sets all the way through episode 54. So it's a nice, works out perfectly.
Yeah, that's why we threw the movie in there. It lines everything up.
Yep. All right. So with that, I'm going to stop it before we hit 3 hours. Oh my God. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Thank you for watching the DigiVerse DiveCast episode 4. If for whatever reason you're actually listening to the full outro, go ahead and leave a comment down below about what you thought of this week's recurring segment, Momo's Digimon of the Week. It's the 4th one. Trust me on this.